Good evening and welcome to the Sunday service. I see a number of you there on the chat. Thank you so much for coming in. Do the necessary. Hit that thumbs up. We are starting shortly. Yeah, I see East African workout girl. I see Anastasia. I see Quirky Lily Tallman all the way from Grenada, Wagwan. I see East African says, I have landed in the house demurely. I see Grace Marco coming through with a membership there. Thanks so much, Grace Marco, for that membership. I'm going to give you your music shortly. And then I see Dr. Finance in the house. Boy Tumelo Makinta, thank you so much for popping in and saying, God bless you, Goga. God bless you too. God bless you too. God bless you too. God bless you too. Yeah, so as we wait for you guys to land safely at the Sunday service. Yes, East African Rocket Girl is screaming, Goga! How was your trip to the airport, East African? How was that trip to the airport the other day? Anastasia Blessed is screaming, Goga! Yes, I am here. I am here. I am here. I am so relaxed. I am so relaxed after that live stream on Wednesday. I'm so relaxed. You don't see that I look rested. I look very bright. I look very demure. I look very chill. And yeah, what that is what we need. That is the kind of energy and spirit we need at the Sunday service, as we have Father Ragut coming up on the panel to just have a nice chit chat with us. Misha Bless, welcome and congratulations on that beautiful Friday giving to the homeless event. I think that was awesome. That you kept me up like late. You kept me up like late. I was so late for my yoga class yesterday because of you, Misha. But it was a good cause, and I know I dozed off during the stream, but you did an amazing job just feeding the homeless people in the streets of London. And I think that is really the power of community. And I was on behalf of Tribe Goga, we were so honored to have been part of that course. Whether directly or indirectly, my community I know really came through for that particular course, and I'm so honored that you are gracious enough to make us part of that worthy initiative. And thank you so much for that shout out as well. The World of Ruggers is there on his chat. Guys, we are multi-streaming. I forgot to say something. We are multi-streaming. So in case you're watching me right now and you don't have the co-host, the World of Ragus, make sure you jump on his live stream. We are multi-streaming both in Nairobi and Germany. That came out so nicely. Yeah, we are streaming both in Nairobi and Germany. So as I wait for you guys to land at the Sunday service, because I know you like coming to the Sunday service late, as usual, after 10 minutes. Those of you who are coming in, make sure you are connected to the World of Ruggers by clicking on the pinned link. It will take you directly to his live stream on all the way there in Germany. We'll talk about Germany. East African Workout Girl is already screaming on the chat. Ragus, praise God, Pastor. Hey, he's not a pastor. Guys, that man almost became the Pope. You cannot call that. East African, can you withdraw? I don't want to get defamation lawsuits after this Sunday service. Don't call him pastor. The man almost became the Pope. And that is why he took long to come to the Sunday service. Can you correct yourself? He's called a father. He's not a pastor. Please correct yourself. I don't want defamation lawsuits up there because of the Sunday service. Correct yourself. Go to his live stream right now and correct yourself and say, I apologize, Father. Some of us, we are not Catholics, so that's why we think everybody is a pastor. Just go and write something like that. I'm sure he'll say your sins are forgiven, my daughter. So thank you so much for coming in. I see Fozzy. Fozzy is in the building. Fozzy, welcome, Fozzy. And thanks so much, Fozzy, for making it. I see Fozzy on the World of Ruggers side. The beauty, I can see all the chats on both streams, so it does not matter. Get out of my live stream and go and write comments when you are on the World of Ruggers live stream. I will be able to see the comments still. I'll still be able to see the comments. Yeah, so it's going to be yeah. And to the I apologize. Good. You have to you cannot call a father a pastor. Do you know that it takes long? The man almost became Pope. So it has to be. We have to be very careful in terms of the terminologies and sensitivities around titles. You know how people are very sensitive on YouTube around their titles. So please go and apologize and withdraw that statement. He's not a pastor. He's a whole. You're going to see him here. He's going to land there with a lot of pomp and glamour. Before he makes his entrance, he's going to land there in the next few minutes with pomp and glamour. So you have to make sure that you're using his appropriate titles. Most people call him Father Mess, most people call him Father Ragus, most people call him Father. He has a lot of names, but we call him the World of Ruggers here at Goga, and he's going to tell us, what is behind that name. what is behind TWOR. TWOR. That is like that is literally the call sign. All right. Anastasia, I hope you're having an amazing weekend wherever it is that you are. I hope you're having an amazing weekend there in Tika. Thank you so much for tapping in. Guys, if you haven't, I forgot to say Happy New Month. Happy New Month too as well. It is a new month, guys. How is it looking like? How is your month of June looking like? Because for me, I'm just like, the new month has started and I already feel like it's already moving too fast because we are already done with day one. Can you imagine? We're already done with day one already, and from tomorrow now we are on day two. Before you realize it, it's going to be like a whole, it's going to be like the whole year is going to like have passed. So please, please, please take a moment and just greet everybody. Happy New Month. Happy New Month. Happy New Month. Happy New Month to you. Happy New Month to you. I'm not seeing messages of Happy New Month on the World of Ruggers. East Africa, I know you have like extra device. Get your husband's laptop. I want to see your husband's laptop typing Happy New Month on that other side. Misha Bless, give me Lily's phone. I know your daughter is watching me. Tell Lily I want to see her chat. Tell Lily I want to see her chat. Happy New Month. Happy New Month. Happy New Month. It is the sixth month of the year 2025. We are halfway through. We are halfway through with 2020. Just like that, we are halfway through with 2025, guys. It's like a reset of sorts. I like doing what you call like a reset at the middle of the year. You started with a lot of ambition, all these resolutions, a list of the things to do in January, and then you have to start getting realistic as the year unwinds, and then you get to the middle of the year and you're like, you know what? Let me do me. And speaking of doing me, Kanini, welcome. Kanini, nice to see you. Vico Real Space, welcome. Netherlands is joining the building. Kenya is joining the building. Europe is in the building. When you see Vico Real Space, I know Europe has landed at the Sunday service. And this is good because when Europe lands at the Sunday service, I am happy because the Sunday service guest is from Europe. So I think you will feel right at home when you see some amazing familiar faces there on the chat. So Happy New Month to you. What has worked for you for the last 6 months? What has not worked? How are you resetting? Like as we start the month of June? How are you resetting? Because a conversation on resetting is very important, and maybe we'll talk about this at the Academy on Wednesday in terms of the Great Reset event for our channels. How are you resetting? What is a reset looking like? What is a reset looking like for you? Another thing that you can also talk about also is in terms of your achievements. What has really worked for you for the last 6 months at the Sunday service? Not at the Sunday service, but also on your channel generally. What has worked for you in the last 6 months? What has been a big source of achievement for your channel? Vibes with Lily, welcome Vibes with Lily. I see Vibes with Lily there on the chat. Thanks so much, Vibes, for coming in. I forgot to do something, guys. I forgot to call my Facebook people. Let me call my Facebook crowd right here. Yikes. Thanks so much, Lily, for saying hi, because you said hi and I remembered something. Rebecca Le Prince, welcome, Mama Rebecca Le Prince. Agatha Chow, welcome. Thanks so much for coming in, Agatha. I see Rebecca Le Prince. Grace Marku, thank you so much for the membership gift. I just saw it before I came to the service. Thank you so much for that, Grace Marku, my sister. I really appreciate that. So Agatha Chow, welcome. We have crowns here. Yes, I have crowns. I keep forgetting that I got crowns. YouTube gave us crowns after the soiree on Wednesday. We got crowns after the soiree on Wednesday. It was such a surprising gift. I don't know who is number one right now. Vico Real Space is number one. Agatha Chow, you're number 3. I don't know who is number 2. Yeah, there are these crowns that YouTube is introducing on the platform. So in case you see somebody has a crown next to them, it is not my doing. It is literally the doing of YouTube. Esi Mungai, welcome and happy birthday once again, Esi Mungai. It was such an amazing time being on your channel on Friday for your birthday party. Esi Mungai, thanks so much for coming in. Once again, to the people who are like joining the Sunday service, I can see you people are landing safely. Guys, why do you take 10 minutes to land at the Sunday service? I always tell you, the president you cannot be coming after me. I always tell you there is protocol with the presidency. You can't be coming after I've already sat. You have to be, you kind of have to be seated in church before the pastor comes in. You see that's what happens on a church service. So the good thing, the guest of honor today is a father. So I know you've all arrived before the father arrives. So that is good. But I always tell you, the Sunday service. How does the president arrive before you people at the Sunday service? And then now you have to like, Goga, say hi to me. Goga, say hi to me. But thanks so much for coming in. We are multi-streaming once again. This live stream is happening on both my channel and the World of Ruggers channel. The World of Ruggers channel. The live stream is happening on both channels. So if you have not yet left a comment on the World of Ragu's side, I'm chasing you out of this live stream. Go and watch the Sunday service from the World of Ragu's side. He needs his watch hours. We are trying to support his watch hour journey. He only has 300 watch hours left to get the 3,000 WH for half monetization. So you're going to do a better job when you are there. Watch the Sunday service from the Ragu's side. Get out of my live stream, go to his side and watch the Sunday service from there. It is the same thing. He will raid you back here for receipts. He will raid you back here for receipts and the giveaway for the goal. The giveaway for the goal. I need to set up the giveaway for the goal. Thank you so much for, this is a bit sometimes when you start saying things and then now you like remember that, oh, geez, I need to put the goal. Let me set up the goal. 10% of all the goals at the Sunday service usually go to somebody on the live stream. So we'll see. We'll donate that 10%. 10% of the super chat goal. I need to just set that. Yeah, so the live stream is happening on both sides. Okay, I've set the goal. I caught myself saying it, and then at least today nobody has reminded me on the live stream. Caribbean Girl Tony, welcome, Caribbean Girl Tony. Thank you so much for coming in. Mary Love Safari, thank you so much for popping in. I see Faye Kyla in the building on the Ragu's side. Baise YouTube, thank you so much for coming in. Baise, nice to see you, brother. Bev Artist Kitchen is saying hi to you, Anastasia, just in case you missed out that greeting. Inner Beauty and Blessings of Wisdom. Inner Beauty, you made it. Thank you so much for coming in. Guys, the pinned link. Go and drop, I don't know what is Ragu's favorite color. He's going to tell us when he comes to the stream in the next 2-3 minutes. I don't know what is his favorite color, but I want you to go and type those nice, if you can get those headphone emojis, he's a DJ. If you can get those headphone emojis on your phone, drop them on his chat. Drop them on his chat right now. If you are watching from the World of Rugged side, I want you to drop those nice headphone emojis on his live stream. Drop those headphone emojis. Always drop emojis that reflect. If you don't know the brand color of the person you are visiting on YouTube, always drop the emojis. Agatha says, Goga, I'm loving your necklace. Thank you so much. Trying to keep it African here. Yes. The World of Rugged is on his chat. He has said yes. Drop those emojis. Drop that thing that looks like a headphone. Drop those things. Please drop Ragu's link. Okay, Vico, the link is pinned on top of my chat. Just click on the pinned link. Are you seeing the pinned link on top of the chat up there? Click on that pinned link. It will take you directly to his live stream. It will take you directly to his live stream. I'm being reminded that the ads are adding. Good. Let me drop it for you. I need to share his house. Let me see. I need to stop this playlist. So this is the channel. Let me see if I can share the screen. Hold on. This is the channel. So you go here. That is the house. And you can see the live stream is also happening there. So click on the pinned link on top of my chat. It will take you directly to that live stream. The World of Ragus. Yes, I see Misha has already landed there. Yes, let's welcome the Sunday service guest. She's coming up on the panel shortly. So I want you to drop those nice emojis to welcome. Make him feel very welcome at the Sunday service. Drop those nice emojis, hearts on that live stream. Drop those emojis, hearts. We are multi-streaming. Chidima family, welcome Chidima. Thank you so much for coming in. Vico Real Space, have you gotten the link? I'm waiting for your chat on Ragu's side. Kanini Kanena has landed there. Jaden, welcome Jaden. Thank you so much for coming in. Drop those nice hearts, headphone emojis, things. Ragus is there with you on the chat. He will welcome you very nicely. I want you to watch and support the live stream from there. And stay there. Don't come back here. Just watch the live stream from there. He will raid you back. He's a very seasoned pilot. He will raid you back to my live stream at the end. And then we'll be able to have our receipts and chit-chat. And Ragu says, I'm greeting the members of the YouTube diocese. I like that. Yeah. I see you guys have landed there. Good. You stay there. Don't come back here. Watch the stream from there. I will bring you back once Ragus leaves the panel. We will bring you back, and because he will raid you back automatically for the affirmation. We'll raid you back for the affirmation and the raid. So let me see that I I think we are ready. We are bringing him up on the panel shortly. He has to make an entrance, so I want you to type emojis on that chat. He's making an entrance like shortly. Let me get the music. I got some music. I got some song for him. Ragut is making an entrance shortly. Caribbean girl Tony, thank you so much. I see you there as well. Thank you so much, Caribbean girl Tony. So let me see. The father's entrance is coming up shortly. So make you feel so happy as he makes his entrance. He's making an entrance like now. Let me just say that I can get his entrance song. Oops. Typos. Father's entrance. The anxiety. People are just like, what is it? What does this father look like today? Get your Bibles, get your rosaries, get those things. Yes, I see you guys there. Thank you so much. Yes, I see you guys there. Thank you. Stay there and watch the stream from there. You're going to be watching the stream from Father Ragu's side because we need to support his WH journey as well. So thank you so much for staying there. Father, I am here. I like how people are saying, Father, I am here. Father, I am here. And then Anastasia is already giving the father pressure. Make sure you dance as you enter, Father. I don't think I've ever seen a father dancing even in church because you do know I was raised half Catholic, so and I remember I used to go to church with my father, and I never used to see fathers dancing. They just used to walk. They used to like march nicely. They used to like march nicely, demurely and stuff. It will be a travesty if imagine seeing the Pope dancing, guys. Imagine seeing Pope Leo dancing at the balcony. Like there's some images I don't want to even put in my head. Imagine Pope Leo dancing in the balcony of the Vatican. You know, like no, guys, no. Guys, no. We are not doing. No pressure, Father. Father, don't be pressured when you're making your entrance. Don't be pressured when you're making an entrance. All right. Natural vibes with TK. Welcome. Thank you so much, TK, my brother. Thanks so much for coming in. I see you're watching there from Father's side, guys. I like what Vico is saying. Let us show Father Ragu some love. Yes, he's making his entrance now. That you guys have learned how to be there. Quacky Lily saying, hello, Goga's community. Quacky Lily, you are part of my community. So hello to you, my community. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much, guys, for landing there. I have no choice but now welcome the father. Let me get some music for him that I chose for this entrance. Kirby Key, welcome, Kirby. Oh my goodness, Kirby, how have you been? Beautiful. Welcome, Kirby. Thanks so much for coming in. Okay. The father is going to make his entrance officially. And happy new month. Make sure you are greeting people you don't know on his live stream. Wish them a happy new month. So the father is going to make his entrance. Let me get the song I picked for this. It's a bit dramatic, but you'll get the point. Okay. So this is the, let's see. Is that one? Yes, that's the song for the entrance. Keep dropping those hearts. The father is coming in. This is so extra. Oh my goodness. Even I think I'm so extra. Keep dropping those hearts. The father is making his entrance. Guys, keep dropping those hearts. Keep dropping those hearts and don't ask where the song came from. There we go. Oh my goodness. That is wild. Everybody is laughing. Oh God, this is funny. Oh my goodness. Yes, guys. Yeah. And everybody is giving him a lot of love on his live stream. The Father has landed. The Father has landed. The Father has landed. It is the outfit for me. I know everybody is just like, yeah, let us just sample the outfit before it speaks. It is the outfit for me. Guys, look at that. Gero Dancing Queen. Welcome, welcome, Gero Dancing Queen. Yes, guys, what do you think about the Father's outfit? Write it on his live stream there. Write it down there on his live stream. Write it down there on his live stream so that we can see. New style in town. Yes, Faye Kaila is like, yo, and then Kanini is like saying, Father, I am finished. The blessing has nailed it for me. It is a blessing for her. Thank you so much for that. And Anastasia is saying, Father, you will kill me. Father, you will kill me. Good. And then somebody, Agatha is like, hallelujah. Oh my God. Guys, I'm done. I am done with you people. I can't deal with you people anymore. And Misha Bless is like saying, game over. Goga, game over. Goga, Father has outdone himself. And Anastasia still saying, I'm dying. East African be like, amen. Hey, you people, I'm done. Kisha, welcome, Kisha. Nice to see you, Kisha. Father was making the entrance. I did before I said hi to you. I did not expect this entrance. Yes, there had to be an entrance. Music had to be selected for him so that he can make. Fathers don't come dancing and being all clumsy. Fathers have to like make a demure entrance, blessings, and things like that. So it had to be a very demure blessing. Welcome, Father. People are just done. People are still stuck on the outfit. People are still stuck on the entrance. New arrival. Even my colleague, Aizo Malango, is watching us on Facebook. He's saying, that was very unique. This is very unique. The Father has landed, guys. So behave yourselves. Everybody is still laughing on the chat. Goga, we now need to send the Father to the Vatican. Indeed. As you guys are laughing there, and you guys are still like welcoming Father on his live stream, and I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Guys, for once again coming to the Sunday service. I will let that music just linger in the background temporarily. Thank you so much for making it to the Sunday service. Just before I give Father a chance to greet all of us, because I know you are all excited to hear his voice and stuff. Let me just do a quick introduction to the person you are seeing on the screen. I like the comments. Father is looking sharp and demure. Yes, he's looking. He understood the assignment. Guys, it is the outfit for me. This outfit took me out the first time I ever saw it. I was like, no. I love YouTube, but this one took it to a whole different level. This is like passion. This is passion, creativity, and a blend of a lot of things. Captain Kirk, welcome, Captain Kirk. Nice to see you. Thanks so much for checking in, brother. So let me just introduce Father real quick before we even Kisha is like, yo. Even Kisha is like, Goga, I am speechless. Even Kisha, Kisha is always very. Kisha can talk on chat. When you see Kisha speechless, things are serious. Like, she did not expect that entrance. Jason and Gina also coming through. Thank you so much for coming in, Jason and Gina family. Thank you so much for popping in. So guys, let me introduce Father so that you guys, because I know you don't want to hear my voice, so that you can now hear his voice. I've known Father for like about, I think it's like close to 5 months now. I met Father courtesy, the World of Ruggers, courtesy of my brother Red's Room, all the way from Canada. And the first time the World of Ruggers came up on my panel, it was during my event when I was celebrating 5 years on YouTube. This was in March. So when he came up on the panel, he literally came in dressed as a priest. And I think I did not see it coming because you remember there was an MC and everything. It was a big event. A lot of things were going on during that event. So I was not really paying attention that day because I was like, when people are celebrating you never really focus a lot on chats and stuff. Until he came up on the panel and I was like, no, what is going on here? That thing took me out and I've never forgotten. And he gave his nice beautiful remarks, and we said that we'll have him at the Sunday service in a couple of weeks. This has been a plan in action for like over nearly 2 months. We've been planning for this collaboration for nearly 2 months. So it's such a dream come true to have him sit here with us at the Sunday service. We are going to discuss a lot of things. He's going to tell you where he's from and things like that. And he's going to tell you what he enjoys doing. It's going to be a very soulful conversation. Get your notebooks because you're going to pick in a lot of wisdom, from this conversation that we're going to have with him. Just to give a bit of context to the person you're meeting on the panel. So I call him the high priest of the decks, and it's a joke and everything, but you know, he has curated like a lot of identity and definitions around his name. Before he was baptizing beats and spinning gospel infused house music, the world of ragas, of course, is knee deep in tech, decoding bags by day, and of course decoding BPMs by night and the weekend, because for him being a DJ is a great passion. Yes, he's the only person we know who can troubleshoot your software and your soul, preferably with a killer bass drum. Born with a DJ controller in one hand and of course a passport in another, Father Ragas even made his way to Nigeria when he was young, where he learned where he first learned that rhythm isn't just something you hear, but it is something you feel. Oyibo Pepe was born, and we are going to talk about this joke about Oyibo Pepe, and you know, why is it important, and why does he like speak it very fluently in Pidgin. It's that early encounter with sound, culture, and spirited joy stuck with him, of course, perfectly, like a looped sample of our music. These days, of course, he calls Germany home, but his channel, The World of Rugged, is truly global. It is where rhythm moves your soul and thoughts find their groove. From techno, trance to house and beyond, he's bringing created mixes, stunning visuals, and of course, live sets. Most of you have seen him in his element, straight to your screen, like a holy rave. And twice a week, he switches gears and goes deep with a new segment called The Raga Talks, a space where culture, creativity, and everyday reflections play on a different frequency. But always keep the energy alive. There's always a lot of energy when you go to any space where it's on. So whether you're here to dance, decompress, or debate the finer points of praise, Ragas has a beat and a word for you. So grab your headphones, maybe your prayer shawl and your rosary, definitely your dancing shoes, because with Fagaragas, it's going to be more than just a mix. It's the ministry of gospel house, and that is what we're going to talk about today. Ragas, without further ado, allow me to welcome you on the panel to introduce yourself in the best way you know how to these beautiful people who are looking at us right now.
Thank you very much. First of all, brothers and sisters, hallelujah. It's a new month, and it is about time that we are blessing ourselves for the last month, that we had a challenge from our very president with the daily shorts to pull up. I have to admit, I missed mine on Easter Monday because actually I was expecting this phone call from Rome, but then I didn't get it. So back I'm here in the Diocese of YouTube, and I'm very happy to meet all of you. Again, most of you have met like virtually in the YouTube streets, but a lot of you I've not seen here. I see a lot of new names on the channel here today on the Sunday service. But first of all, I would like to say thank you to you, Goga, for first of all having me, and also for also taking care a little bit of the minorities of YouTube, since I believe I'm the first white guest on your channel. So I have to say I feel blessed with that. Being part of this wonderful community and not being treated as a minority from all the others. So it's really nice to be part of this. And therefore, I would really like to say hello to each and everyone who is who has the time to watch today, who has time to spend the Sunday service on this wonderful channel of Gogas. Also who were nice enough to come to my channel, because yes, I'm working on the watch hours. On the other hand, I would also like to give you a quick little insight of me, real quick, for those who don't know me, or for those who hear me speaking the first time, which hopefully is getting to your side loud enough. So you all know me as the World of Ragas, Father Mess, the Bishop of the Beans and Bananas, the Bishop of the Diocese of Kisi, and obviously soon to be promoted to the Cardinal of YouTube, because they don't have one here. On the other hand, I'm here to speak a little bit about myself, like a little bit personally, what I'm doing and so on. So obviously I'm from Germany, most of you know, but I always call myself the Nigerian trapped in a Oyibo Pepe body, because Goga has mentioned it already. I used to live in Nigeria for 3 years when I was a kid. That means I'm officially old, but it was the greatest time of my life, obviously. And whenever I can, also in my Monday and Thursdays, conversations that I have online, I always refer as much as I can to my African experience in general. Not only Nigerian, because yeah, we used to live in Nigeria, but I have so many African friends also outside YouTube that I'm really blessed with, and therefore for me it is a even more normal thing to be around Africans rather than Europeans. I come to that later during this session, and therefore, first of all, I would like to say, Goga, thank you so much for your invitation, for having me. It took a long while because, as you know, Goga was also in Rome with me. He was my driver there. He was actually really planning everything around getting me on this balcony. And also after that, when the elections would have been done, the plan was that um, he would actually be my first secretary. So he didn't even bother to tell his pilot to stay in Rome. So the pilot, on the way halfway back to Kenya, had to return to pick him up to be here on the Sunday service, then flying back to Rome, getting me ready for the position, and then doing his Sunday service again, and then coming back for the elections to Rome, while I was there doing all my stuff on the YouTube streets, also flying back and forth, because obviously cardinals don't have to stay there until conclave starts. We all know the outcome, and at the end of the day, the point is that we have to work on this for the next time. So I will stay very happily the bishop and the of the YouTube diocese, sitting here in my bishop castle right now, and very soon I will have the opportunity to travel to the diocese in all the dioceses in Kenya, and doing that obviously with the presidential airline of our very president Goga.
I think it has been well said, and I like, for me, it is the comments people are dropping on the chat, like especially saying, "Let me go get some water," and then I don't know if people are going to get water all of a sudden, and then even East African Workout Girl is like, "Let me get some water before the sacrament time starts," and I'm like, "Why are you people like this? Why are you people like this?" And then there's a lot of amen on the chat. There's a lot of prayer hands today on the live stream. If this is what it took to make sure people are very demure and quiet at the Sunday service, then I'm glad that you made it to this Sunday service for the Ruggers. And guys, once again, we are multi-streaming. So in case you're wondering, Goga, where is everybody? Why are you greeting people and I'm not seeing them on your chat? We have chased them to go and watch the live stream from Father Ragu's side. So please get out of my live stream, go and watch it from Father Ragu's. We are trying to get him that support in terms of his WH so that he can get his milestone. He only needs like 300 WH, which I think we can get it by Wednesday so that he can get his half monetization. And then Mary Love Safaris is saying white smoke is loading. Yeah, we are going to talk about white smoke and what happened on what happened. The reason, and Father Ragus has just said it, the reason it took so long for him to make it to the Sunday service is because we were waiting for the election of the new Pope. And the conclave process was a very protracted battle. We thought he was our candidate. We thought he was going to become the Pope, and that would have even given this Sunday service more, how do I put it? It would have given us more like visibility, because imagine having the Pope at the Sunday service, because, this is the beauty of like knowing people before they become the Pope. But of course, the Americans got it, and we're going to have a Pope for like a very long time, probably 30 years. So by then, I think Ragus will have risen through the ranks, and he's told he's the cardinal of YouTube. So I think once you are a cardinal, then I think you are in line as wait for that job to fall vacant. But Ragus, I'm so honored that you made it to this Sunday service. It's been a long time coming. You talked about having lived in Africa for 3 years. And I like the joke about finally the minority have made it to the Sunday service. That was funny. That was really funny. But speaking of minority, you're from Germany. How did you end up in Nigeria of all the places for 3 years? Like, how did that even happen? Like, you could have been somewhere else in Europe, because we know the EU is like very open, in terms of its borders. You could have been in the United Kingdom. You could have been somewhere else. Why Nigeria? 3 years is such a long time. And, what was that experience like, having been in the continent that young?
Well, first of all, I was a kid, obviously, so I didn't really have a choice. I had to follow, right? Because when you're under 18 years old, you cannot do what you want. So on a serious note, the fact is that I used to live in Nigeria because my dad was a teacher back then on a German school. And on the German school, that was actually invented because the fact is that there was a steel plant in built back then, and the steel plant was actually built in the south of Nigeria in the Warri area and the Niger Delta. It was called the Delta Steel. It's actually hosted now by the Delta Steel Company, DSC. So they started building it, I believe, end of '79, but I'm not 100% sure. We got there from 1981 and stayed there until 1984. So I was just a student on a German school, literally, but the kids from those people from Germany, Austria, Switzerland, and all German-speaking countries, they were actually in Nigeria, not only in the south, but also up in the north in Abuja, in other places where steel plants were built, where oil was taken and all that stuff. And that is how those companies came there. In the 80s, we're talking about a couple of hours ago, considering 2025. The thing is that obviously the part is that those people did not want to leave without their families, because some of them had a couple of years contract, like 3 to 5 years in the first place. So they were going from Germany to Nigeria, Austria, Switzerland to Nigeria, but some of them have already also worked in other countries before, like Venezuela, like Iraq and all that. So they were kind of veterans, if you will, in regards of living abroad. So my dad got an offer to teach on that German school as a teacher. And he said, yeah, we can do that. So we went there in August 1981 and started school there in September, as far as I remember. And we went back in June, end of June 1984. And it was indeed the best time of my life, I can say still. I think when you're in the age between 9 and 12, then you actually understand way later when you grow up, you understand the value that it has to live in another cultural area, in another continent where you can observe way easier than an adult can. So I believe that also makes me like a natural African with white skin color, if you will, because the thing is that really the people there in Nigeria back then, and we are talking about 40 plus years ago, they were so open-hearted. They were so naturally, they spread so much natural warmth towards us, and obviously giving us the Weibo Pepe nicknames. And I will tell you a funny story about that in a while. How actually I know how it feels to be an Oibo Pepe. So, I mean, physically feels. Trust me, it was not nice for me, but it's funny for everyone else who will tell the story. So yeah, so that's how we actually got there, and we stayed there for 3 years.
Okay, I think you just shared with us something about the steel plants. So
yes,
I don't,
that is before we got there. So that is before. So this was kind of the fundamental, if you will. So that is how it all started. That is then when these are all pictures, I have to admit. As you can see, it is like from all pictures. That is when it was half ready, kind of, and already operating. So on the left-hand side, you see very well. You went. Can you go one back? No problem. Yeah. On the left-hand side, you see this something that looks like a start and landing area for an airplane. That was the major production hall that was later built. And that is actually the environment just in step 3 or 4 already, when they were still building it up. And we came there, if you go to the next picture, we came there exactly when this was like already operating in big time. And on the top left, on the bottom left of this picture, you actually see the camp that was built back then. There was no asphalted streets. There was nothing. It was just the houses were there. And surprisingly, they were very good. They were very simple and done. And it was a so-called, what you these days call a gated community. But as you see, there was no gate. There was not even a gate back then, because nobody really cared. It was a safe environment. It was everything cool, and it was like what the Europeans call, let's go for an adventure and see how it goes. And if we sink in the mud, we sink in the mud. We get someone to help us out. Nobody really cared. So, because this so-called German efficiency, as it is very often called, was not really given, obviously, because Africa meets Europe, Europe meets Africa. Two different culture things come together, and I mean it with the best meaning. And this is how it works. And at the end of the day, the thing is that if you consider the fact that We are talking about 40 years ago. There was no internet, there was no iPhone. You had to, and we didn't even have telephones in our houses. So if you needed something, you had to go somewhere who knows someone who can go to someone who
Mm.
can get you something and then do the chain reaction backwards. So it was total different times. We didn't even have a TV for all the 3 years. So for the 3 years, so some of the people had a video recorder, VHS, old school for the younger of you guys, Google it. Um, doesn't exist anymore. uh, so, so some of them got huge cartons of VHS cassettes with them to Nigeria to watch old German TV series or whatever TV shows in repeat, in repeat, in repeat for years, because Nigerian television was not available in the camp. And at the end of the day, people were just like watching all these films again and again from the 70s, obviously. Nowadays, impossible. I mean, everyone in Nigeria has access to internet. Everyone in Nigeria has a smartphone or even two. Look at all the YouTubers here that we have in our community. It would be, I mean, guys, the younger guys of you, before I hand back to Goga, consider yourself without a smartphone, without internet, without anything that you have, unless a piece of paper and a pen, and if you're lucky, a newspaper somewhere, if available. Do that for 3 days, and then you can maybe compare what we had or not had back then.
I'm just trying to imagine because it feels like yesterday, but yeah, it's actually 40 plus years, and I mean that's like a very long time. That's like a very long time.
Yeah, it is. It feels like yesterday still. Being honest, me being there, because God, we have to start the joking part soon, otherwise people start falling asleep. No, but
Yeah.
on the serious note, the point is that the time in Nigeria when I was between 9 and 12 years old. So it's like 2.5 hours ago, kind of. And the point is that we had all the freedom there as kids that we never had in Germany, never.
Mm,
So we just we went home, did our homeworks, and after that, shoes off, outside playing football with the Nigerian boys, bare feet like they did.
nice.
And that's it. Sleeping in the village, no problem. Taking, as sleepovers as an early teenager and stuff like that. You do that. You stay with your friends. So I stayed in the bush, in the best meat, not in the YouTube bush. I mean, in the.
Like what
So
bush?
that was the first time actually when I was staying in the bushes and taking receipts. That was in 1982 that I was allowed the first time to have a sleepover in the village, and we are talking about 1982, so it's a couple of days ago now. So there was no electricity, there was no floating water, there was nothing. There was a little river where we went swimming and caught fish with the bare hands, possible back then. And at the end of the day, what really happened was, and that was so interesting, the walk to the village was like, I would say 3.5 kilometers. And the guys from the village walked that way back and forth every day to be with us playing football. So obviously, my dad, white as he is, he didn't drive me there. He said, "Okay, you want to sleep over? No problem. Here's the yam, here's the gari, here's the cassava for your dinner, for your part of the dinner. You go and you walk, and you come back walking tomorrow. See you later." You're talking about me being 10 and a half years old, a white little boy in Nigeria, and nobody cared.
I
And there
love
was no
that.
danger at all. It was a safe place. And try that in Germany. Um, even these days, this little boy walking around the street in the evening to go into some friend's place, the police would be called, health, child support would be called, whatever would be called, maybe even Father Ragos would be called to give mental support and all that stuff. But back then, perfect timing.
I love, and and that's a very great depiction even of what goes on typically in an African village. Because that when you're talking like that, I'm just thinking of my village at home. Like, and that is a very normal normal thing in the village where a child was always deemed as a you are the child of the village. So everybody used to take care of that particular child regardless. I don't know what was like, and I like this picture that you just sharing with us here. Okay, hold on, just so that I got the correct picture.
Yeah, because I just wanted to say a lot of people do not believe that once a long time ago, before I invented the beans and banana religion in the church, I was an innocent boy. There is the proof.
It's
There is the
adorable.
proof.
Yes, look at
There is
that guy. Epadarangas looks cute. That
that
photo.
is that is that is the that is me. Yeah, believe it or not, it's me. Yes, it is. That was already me writing my first prayer for the case if I get ever pope. Unfortunately, that paper is now in the chimney with a black smoke, so that is why it never got public appearance. And yeah, that is me when I was still a tiny little innocent boy. Now I'm everything but holy, as you all know. So in the end of the day, it is a pleasure for me to now do whatever I can do. And why actually the church was called the Beans and Banana one, I will reveal that in a little. But because some people don't know, and I see some people on your chat are maybe a little bit irritated why this white guy with a white gown sitting there. But then again, guys, are also for you who don't know me or who haven't met you, who haven't met me yet, wishing you also all a very unholy 1st of June.
We wish you an holy 1st of June and happy new month once again. I see Tony. Tony is watching us from Facebook. Welcome, Tony. Tony joined us last week. Javan is saying Ragus, but Germany, the countryside in the 80s was very safe too. That's just a comment based, just picking up from what you're saying about that village. Wild Bunch is laughing. Wild Bunch is laughing. Wakesho says that she wants communion. I want holy communion. Wild Bunch says, brother, you're good. You're good. You're good. I think everybody is enjoying this. And for me, I think I love the creativity around your outfit. It is amazing. It's amazing creativity, and you're going to talk, tell us about that. But just to like circle back in that Nigerian experience, when you guys finally like went back home, you had like made a lot of friends, especially in Africa. You got a very a lot of respect to your parents because they gave you some nice exposure, especially to a different side of the world that maybe you'd ordinarily not have appreciated. Had you like stayed in Europe, the entire time. What is that one? What is that one fascinating thing you remember about Nigeria this many years later that you're just like, if you are to go back there today, that's the first thing you're going to get, or that's the first place you're going to go? What is that one?
There is one place, obviously, where I would really like to go because I can just share another picture of the camp where we actually used to live. So that is a place where I would love to go again because that is where I spent a lot of time of my childhood. And the point is that this was our gated community also without a gate, really. I mean, there was a little fence around it and that's it. But in the end of the day, the point is that we were free there. And as you see there also, not really streets available but in that picture.
Wait, have you seen it? I don't see it yet.
Yeah, I've just uploaded it like a second ago.
Okay, cool. Hold on. Yes, I've seen the camp.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
wow.
there you see there is that is a bit more posh. Obviously, there's a pool and everything, but that was all that was the only luxurious thing that we had. The tennis courts were not ready. The tennis courts, the ground was made of plastic, which was fair enough because how would you actually maintain everything? But the interesting thing is, if you look at the picture, on the top of the picture, you see the jungle, the woods and the trees and everything.
Yes.
That is all gone. That is all gone because now, so the place is called Oruvarun. It's like a little bit outside Warri in the south of Nigeria. And the interesting thing is that all that jungle, all that woods, all that trees are gone because now around this camp, and you can easily watch it on Google Maps, everything is built down now with houses and little huts and places and shops and stuff like that. So it's an own town now. Oruvarun used to be the so-called village. Now it is a big town itself. And people have already fled away from Warri because obviously it's super big. Warri was super busy back then, and it is even more busy right now. So yeah, and it's the south of Nigeria. But again, we were very happy there, and that was still in the building while we were moving there. So I think the camp was finalized. That at least the roads were done in like October 1981, November 1981. Interestingly, if you look on this picture, there are and keep the Look on the pool. There are two pools on the top of the pictures. On the right hand side of that, directly the building, the right hand side of the pool is the little hospital where my youngest sister was actually born.
Oh wow!
So my youngest sister, she has got official two nationalities. So she's German Nigerian, and she's white. What a minority that is. So,
Does she throw it around? Does she throw it around like, I'm Nigerian and I'm German Nigerian? I'm sure that can be quite a conversation starter. Does she do that a lot?
yeah, people don't understand it here. I mean, obviously, if you speak to Nigerian people and she tells them, "Hey, look, I'm born in Warri and everything," the Nigerians understand right away. Okay, that's our sister. Period. But if you tell that to a German, yeah, I'm half Nigerian, and they look at you like, is that in South Africa somewhere? Because of white, black, and stuff. It is like people are reacting totally weird on that. And when I tell them, for instance, let me give you an example. So my youngest sister is born there. Obviously, we grew up there as kids for a couple of years. But here's the thing: when I meet people, when I sit in the underground train in Munich, which I try to avoid as good as I possibly can. And I see African people sitting there, and I hear them talking. I can in 99.9%, if they start speaking pidgin, I ask them, "You're my brother. You're from Nigeria. You're Nigeria. You're Niger. Give me a zao. You're Niger." And then they look at me like, what is that? What is that? Oibo pepe. And I say, yeah, I'm Oibo pepe. Igo yellow momo. And then they understand, okay, this guy knows something that we don't know. So then we start talking. And then I tell them, I used to live in Warri and do this. Da, 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 da. And a lot of people here on YouTube, actually, after my unholy appearance on your 5 years anniversary back then, they did not believe that I really lived in Nigeria. And then I had to tell them, yeah, well, Shagari was president. I used to live there. By then it was a town. The steel plant was still built, and Port Harcourt, and all these things where the stuff was delivered for the goods and all that. So in the end of the day, the point is that now people understand that I was really there. But explaining that to a Nigerian or an African person in general, no problem, because they understand the vibes. They understand that people are getting, you only get this vibe when you have actually lived there, kind of.
Yes.
But explain that to a German. Oh yeah, my best time ever was in Nigeria. Yeah, but people are poor and people didn't have nothing. I said, well, I had a sleepover in the bushes, no problem, and it was a great time. We didn't need Adidas shoes and all that stuff. We just had what we had, period. And there was no big supermarket back then, so we had to buy everything fresh. So the guys with the little trucks came every morning to sell some fruits, vegetables, and all that, as you do, papayas and yam and all these wonderful things that are only growing in Africa. And there was no African no African store in Germany back then. Now they're all over the place, and you can buy everything you want. You can even do fresh ugali here in Germany, no problem. But
nice.
The point is that it is easy to explain to African people why I feel kind of African, even though I'm officially not African, but why I have the feelings more to those tribes and to those people rather than the strict organized and everything march in the same step European thing, if that makes sense.
Javan says, Niger was a great experience for me too. Just try to add in and weigh in on that. I see Master Control tuned in all the way there in Brazil. Thank you so much, Master Control, for coming in. And the people are coming for the Holy Communion. Thank you so much. I see a lot of people asking for the Holy Communion. The Father will determine when that is going to be administered. But if you have not yet connected to the World of Ruggles and you're watching this live stream, we are multi-streaming on both sides. So in case you're on my live stream and you're not aware, click on the pinned link. It will take you directly to his live stream. Everybody is there. I've literally sent everyone there, so you can go watch it from there, so that we can support the channel as well. So the Sunday service is happening as well there. Stash Cash, nice to see you and congratulations on 1,000 subscribers. Welcome, brother Stash Cash. Stash Cash may be joining us in the next 2 weeks. Actually, will be joining us in the next 2 weeks. And it's amazing just to see all these amazing people coming in and the community growing. Jaden, thank you so much, Jaden. And Jaden, I hope no, it's Sunday. Let me not bother you. It's Sunday. You are free to be here. I always have to ask Jaden where where his parents are, because Jaden is always on my live stream and the parents are not aware. Okay. Jay says when you live there, you are connected to the people and the soil. That is really powerful. Let us
Yes.
talk about food, and this can maybe give us the gospel of beans and bananas. What was your favorite food in in Nigeria, other than moi? I know moi is part of it, but you know what was
Well,
that? What go-to food when you lived in Nigeria? And
well, the good thing is really that nowadays in Germany exists a lot of African stores where you can buy Kenyan, Ghanaian, and Nigerian stuff, or at least the ingredients is for that. For instance, my favorite food ever, in considering Nigeria, was yam, boiled with meat and some vegetables and stuff. Obviously, not too pepe because I'm still Weibo pepe, because that would mean I would have to call the firefighters to rescue my mouth of burning. But and I give you an example on that. We had, and this is really a true story. I've said that in one or two channels, but not everyone might hear that. Um, so what really happened once, I was like 10 and a half something, and we had a lady helping my mom because obviously she just got my sister and she needed help at home. So there was a wonderful Nigerian lady helping my mom a couple of hours a day in the household and with us kids and all that stuff. So she ate this little pepes like other people eat candies, right? In Nigeria, they do that. I still don't know how they survive that, but I will have to find that secret out. So they were all nice and red. They were so nice, shiny and everything. They looked like wonderful lollipops and stuff. So I grabbed one, and because I was always hungry, obviously, that is why my slim stature comes from. And so the thing is that I grabbed one, and before she could intervene, I had it in my mouth, I bit it, and I chew it. 2 seconds later, I was actually the official alarm of a firefighter car because it was so painful. And then I understood the meaning of Oibo Pepe, Igo Yellow Momo. There you go. That is me burning from inside that very day, and I never ever touched a red pepper anymore, or any pepper anymore, because. But other than that, I love Nigerian food. I love gari and I love fufu. Obviously, the guys who watch my channel regularly have seen me with my Nigerian T-shirts on and stuff. And it's really, I love the fufu, I love the gari, and having the yum. And then you can mix it with so many wonderful ingredients, with or without meat. I mean, even there are these food disabled people all over the place called vegans, and so therefore you have to be careful of what you're cooking and stuff. But I love the sorry to all the vegans. It was a joke. But I love to do it with meat, vegetables, and a nice spicy sauce, but not spicy in terms of hot spicy, but spicy with nice spices in there. And it is relatively easy to prepare, and even me can actually do that, and I love it.
nice.
For that, I would kill. Picture speaking.
Figuratively. Jayvan is saying my favorite dish is eforiro. I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, because eforiro. Rooted in essential oils. Nice to see you. I see you there on Ragu side. Thanks so much, brother, for jumping in to support our Oibo Pepe. Thanks so much for popping in there. Miss V, my kindred spirit, nice to see you. Zelen, my sister, is in the building. Zelen Cooking Paradise. Thank you so much, sis. Joining in all the way from Singapore. It is very late. You're supposed to be asleep, but you're here. Thanks so much, Zelen, for tapping in. Let me see. There's something Ragas is. Hold on. Ragas, you just taught me something about Jimmy while you are seated here, like in terms of pictures. There.
Yeah. Oh, this actually, this is.
What is going on?
This is a picture from 1984, and this is a true story. This was Easter Sunday in 1984, and the gentleman on the left-hand side is actually the pastor of a little church in Oruvarum back then. Oruvarum already had a couple of church communities, so he used to be today you call it facility manager of our school, worked from Mondays to Fridays, but obviously he is a pastor. He was a pastor. God rest his soul. He was
Oh,
a very, 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 very. His name was Mr. Paleve. I never knew his first name, but this was our kind of, how do you call it, facility manager of our school back then, Mondays to Fridays. But he had this church. He had this. This was not his church. He was a real pastor. And I remember this was Easter Sunday. And as you see, if you look at the picture, so the walls of this house were was the first walls as you do. So it was not the final wall and everything. It was just the first part that was built. There was not even a door, as you see. The windows just had like little wood things to close and open. But it was a church service. And if you look on the bottom right of the picture, we had to take off our shoes back then.
oh yeah,
So
I've seen shoes there. Yes.
you see shoes there. So we were actually invited to this church service. Not everyone from the school, but we were invited to this church service. Saying so, and this was the most epic, most energetic, most cheerful, and most, I don't know, what else can I say, most blessed church service I've ever witnessed in my entire life, period. There was no instruments, there was no electricity, there was nothing. It was just the raw building, kind of, and as you see, they decorated the door frame a little bit, but literally there was no door. And the only thing that covered the window was this little wood thing there, as you see on the right-hand side of the picture. And that was it. So interestingly, what you don't see on this picture, and I'm trying to get hold of any material from back then, what you don't see on this picture, this house was relatively small. It had place if everyone was sitting on the floor, and we also sat on the floor, obviously, even as VIPs, but we sat near to the pastor, so we had some kind of space extra, but people were sitting skin and skin inside. There were like 50 people inside this building. But outside, there were 350 people sitting in the bushes, on the grass, on the floor, and celebrating this Easter Sunday service, my friend. And the interesting thing is, so there was no electricity, nothing. So what they did was they took a car battery, put some cable on it, got a huge speaker, and the mass service was actually kind of transponded to outside. And we are talking about 1984, 41 years ago. That was before my election failed. So this was not. This is not a costume party. This is a real pastor. I mean, obviously.
No, this is real. Everybody on the chat is like, oh, so Father, this is where it started, huh?
This is how it all started. Yes, this is how it started. And actually, I wanted to have the original uniform, but it is down there somewhere. And with Pastor Padeve, and he was a very, very. I really want to give a shout out to him wherever he is. He was a really, really generous man. He was very modest and humble, and he was he never made the big thing that he's a pastor, but he was a very, very humble gentleman, and he also taught us a lot about good behavior without being punishful, if that makes sense. He was a very nice man, and with us kids, he was great. He always helped the teachers when we had to do sports exercises. Then he played football with us, obviously, because that gave him some time off the desk. And when he was pastor, I don't know if you ever saw this funny film, Sister Act or something, or some films with James Brown. James Brown, James Brown, rest his soul, when he was on stage and doing his dance, he was 3 times more than James Brown, for sure. And if you watch on YouTube some old James Brown videos when James Brown was on stage and doing this thing, the pastor did it without an international audience, except us, because we were invited. But that was, again, the most epic, the most intensive, and the most, I believe, valuable church service I've ever seen in my life.
I like
Inside
that.
the bush in Africa with no electricity, and nobody cared.
I love that because, it reminds me of actually the village, what a church service would look like. Just you talking about, people plugging in the PA system into a car battery and, there are people are seated around the place so that they can hear what the pastor is saying. It is literally resonating. It's literally a resonation of the experience that that rich experience you did have when you're in the continent. But rather away from now having amazing church services, I like and I'm so impressed. You're also talking about the kind of lessons that you got from Paleve. Um, One of the things that could also like stand out with that kind of exposure is the differences in terms of there's Germany, which has a certain way of doing things, and then you are here. You've had a very substantial time. You are studying. Yes, you're in a German school, but you're in Africa, so you're getting even an extra bonus advantage because there's some cultural things you're picking up as a young man. When you went back home, you definitely don't look at the world with the same lens of a typical German who has never stepped out of Africa. How do you reconcile those differences? Because in Africa, you saw how you saw that people who are literally living from hand to mouth. They don't really have even getting food for the evening, especially in a village setting. It's not even guaranteed. Yet you are in you're in Germany and you see even food going to waste, and you're like, this would have really like saved the whole village back in Africa. It gives you a totally different mindset. So as a German man, and how did you make that reconciliation? Because at the end of the day, yes, you do recognize you have a starting privilege. But how do you like reconcile that when you now think of the people back in Africa?
Well, let me answer very honest. Being back in Germany was coming back from Nigeria. We obviously recognized that people were struggling with food, hand to mouth stuff, as you said, but we were able to help with relatively simple things like buying a I don't know 100 kilogram of gari and stuff like that with the street traders, which we did on a regular basis, and some yam and stuff, and sent the guys with their trucks who sold us the fruits and the vegetables, sent it to the village right away, to the church of the pastor, and tell them, hey, put it all there, don't worry, here's some money, done. It was relatively small money for us back then, but it was not, and my dad always did it anonymously. So he sent this truck driver there and he said, don't tell it's from me, tell it's from some Weibo, but not from me, please. Because he wanted to have that in silent and in peace, as they say in the Bible. If you do something good, don't talk about it, just do it, something like that. And I mean the real Bible right now, even though I'm not really believing in the institution of the church, but that actually part is really interesting for me. But coming back to Germany was most likely, for me, and I'm very honest here, the most brutal experience I could possibly make. Because, yeah, there was a lot of poverty in Nigeria, that's true, and still is. There was a lot of struggles to get the food on the table, and it still is. There was a lot of hand to mouth, and it still is. A lot of things have not changed necessarily to the better until now, in all these years. But the people, the Nigerian people, they made it for us very easy to stay there, and they made it very hard for us to leave. And I can tell you, not because they were handcuffing us or something, but it was the mentality of the people, the warmth of their hearts, the natural friendliness, without wanting anything, without asking for Aza, without asking for money, without asking for whatever. They just wanted to be friends. Once you were in their village, once you were in their community, you were in, period. Coming back to Germany in 1984, first of all, I have to say that was the only time ever that living somewhere for a longer while, leaving, I was crying like a little baby. I mean, I was 12, but still. My parents cried, we all cried, because we did not really want to go, but the contract of my parents have expired. Situations in Nigeria have changed in 84 a little bit, not necessarily to the best. And that was way before all those things happened that we all know about from the press nowadays. But it was brutal to come back to Germany. And I'm not talking about the weather bullshit or something. I'm talking about the people. And people from Africa who came to Europe or to Germany in particular, they would actually confirm what I think of a lot of people here. There is a kind of natural coldness, if you will. So this warm-hearted thing, the embracement that you get and that I have witnessed in Nigeria for many years, that I'm now witnessing when I meet Nigerian people here in Munich randomly, first time ever, that is not given here. And it took me years. And I was like, why am I just 12? I want to go back. Just give me a ticket and let me go. I go back to the German school, I have my peace. Obviously, that was not possible, but I have to say, it took me like 4 to 5 years to really kind of settle back in mentally, if you will.
Wow.
If I could just say one quick example. In Nigeria, obviously I love to play football. As you see, I have not been that good to be a superstar by now, so that's why I became the father. But the thing is that first time I wanted to play football on the streets or in the grass, I asked my dad for shoes, and he said, look outside, my friend. You see your Nigerian friends there? And I said, yeah. How many of them are wearing shoes? And I said, none. And he said, well, then off you go.
I love your dad. He was a very practical guy. Like,
so that's how we learned to, and wherever we went to in Nigeria, we traveled a lot the country. We were fortunate enough to travel the country, saw beautiful places there. And I would do a Nigeria special on my channel by showing a lot more pictures and stuff nowadays to today. Back then to today. But it was hard coming back. Yeah, it was hard.
You have an interesting question from the chat. Ragas, how old are you? From Title Pro. Title Pro. Why are you asking the father his age?
Let me say, Title Pro. If you had listened properly and be able to do mathematics, you would be able to find it out by yourself. That's all. So my good advice for you is rewatch the stream later, and then you can take a little piece of paper and take receipts.
God bless him. He's saying it, of course, a light touch. I think, Title Pro, I think I put in your question before Ragas gave it away. He gave it away very easily, so you can easily tell. Mega Big Ben, nice to see you. Thanks so much for coming in. Ragas says that this picture, I like how people are getting very excited about this picture of Paleve, and they're reconciling it. They're reconciling it with the outfit, because and the identity you have assumed, especially on YouTube, which I still find very fascinating and creative. And if Paleve was watching this live stream right now and saw you in this outfit.
The thing is, I was always a clown also in school, so he would most likely laugh his butt off and send some extra prayers for forgiveness up there for me. But he loved this. He had a good sense of humor. He was a very wise man, understanding that kids are kids, and most likely my inner kid will never grow up really. So I would be already forgiven.
Oh, good. Okay. Title process. I wanted to establish the political timing. Anyway. I was also very curious just to ask, what was politics like then, but then I realized it's neither here nor there. But I'm sure Father will bring it down when he's going to discuss his experiences, and when he'll be sharing some of these experiences on his channel. Let us walk back to your artistic side, which is like people know you as the DJ par excellence. But what people also don't know is that you are a techie. You are in the space of software engineering and stuff on a day-to-day basis. That's what you do during the day. I was actually surprised. I literally thought you're like a full-time DJ until that day you wrote on somebody's live stream, guys, I'm going to work, because and then I think the host was asking you what you do and stuff, and I think you answered, and that's how I was able to pick out what you do. And I was very fascinated that, oh wow, Father Ragus actually has a day job or something. It was very short. For me, I thought you're like a full-time DJ, and maybe that's what you do. talk to us about this, and in terms of how you reconcile your artistic creativity and what you do on what puts what in Africa we say what puts food on the table.
So, talking about music, definitely I'm influenced by Africa and Nigeria as well, because obviously when you see as a kid all these very intensive dancing groups of the time back then, where only was some percussions and some very loud singing voices, and on national days and stuff, the dancing groups came back and forth and that stuff. And I really have to say it was an amazing experience, and that already gives me the rhythm kind of in my blood, even though I'm not an African man, but that rhythm still is in my head, in my heart. So obviously when you one day start DJing, and back then when I started was vinyl records. So, for those who don't know what vinyl is, again, Google. The point is that it was record decks back then. There was no digitization. There was nothing. And it was very interesting to do that. And it was nice to do that back in the clubs. And I just got to it because somehow, sometime, you meet someone who tells you, hey, there's a little bar where they need a DJ. And that was... I mean, I've never been in that direction personally, but my first DJ job was literally in a gay bar in the hometown where I'm from in Düsseldorf, and I did that for a year and a half or something, and then I was actually having the opportunity to go to the clubs in the 93, 94 area, where when techno and house really came out, and when we got this vinyl records from the UK and from Chicago and from Detroit, all these wonderful treasures and wonderful people like DJ Pierre, one of my big idols. And that is when I actually got into DJing back then. Did it for quite some years, but never as a main profession, never. So, and I'm not from tech originally. As you do, as one of my former managers said, Ragus, your CV is not that linear, maybe. And I said, that is about right. And so most likely it would be a wonderful cross track for car cross racing or something. If you compare my CV to a roadmap or something, it is not straightforward. So it has so many curves back and forth and everything. But that is what life is all about. And the thing is that the DJing always kept me going. I also used to play. So my first instrument I played was a trumpet. Yes, please don't laugh. I did not play marching music.
I want to see that. I want to see that picture or a clip.
I think I have a picture somewhere where I used to play tuba, because I tried a lot of brass instruments, ended up with tuba, and also there no marching music. I really played like very good solid music with piano and orchestra. There's pieces for tuba a long time ago, and but nevertheless, I always was more into the music that was off the mainstream, off the bit more undergroundish, bit more off the radio, because in radio you always hear the same thing 24/7 and stuff like that. So the thing is, I ended up in a club somewhere in Düsseldorf and became resident there. So every Saturday I had like 2 to 3 hours that I can play. And then I started playing in little other clubs. I never went to the big things, first of all, because I never was invited, but also because it was not my cup of tea. I'm not this fan of the big raves where you pay a shitload of money to see some DJ from 500 kilometers away on the other side of the hall, and stuff like that. So I always kept it modest, and then ended it obviously because things in life happen. You get a job, you go to work and stuff like that. And what also was the case that then that's how I got on YouTube in the first place, is when I have to put some blessing lights on here before we give the communion. So the point is that I then ended up on YouTube to get the little bridge to nowadays. I ended up on YouTube like 4 years ago because of COVID, obviously. Many YouTubers started their channels because of COVID. So did you, but you're the better looking one, so you can do the exercise. I'm the not better looking one. I always say about myself, look, Goga got the TV face, I got the radio face. That's why I'm doing music. And that so you have to be honest to yourself, and that's why I become the father, you get the girls, and that is how it works. And the point the point is that I started my YouTube journey like a little more than 4 years ago. And interestingly, I thought, okay, when I put my first mix up, which was rotten bad, to be honest, it can be found in the Techno Classics collection of my channel. The very first record, so the Techno Tracks one, classic techno classic tracks, the first one, that was my first ever mix on YouTube, and it was a rotten bad one. However, I thought I would become a star. After 3 days, I had 2 views, and that was both me. So
Wow.
you had to learn nobody was waiting for me.
I like,
But-
you know, I like that, and that can be a great, just something to just have an intermission on. You thought you were going to become famous with that one content, and I like how you said
course.
you only got 2 views on it, and the views were yours, because we were talking about this the other day, and I was saying that about how people have to remember their humble beginnings when getting because I remember, and I think a good example was when some content creator who is kind of famous now on these streets, and they're my friend. They say when they started doing live streams, they never used to have anybody watching. It was just showing one person watching, and then they confessed and told me, Goga, do you know that person who used to chat on my live stream was me? I was chatting to myself because I was there, like seated there for like 10 minutes. Nobody has come in. Nobody. I'm not getting any particular view. Talk to us about this power of those beginnings. Because now TVs is not your portion. You graduated from the TVs. You graduated from the TVs. And you know, and I think that's a great that can be a great conversation starter right there. So so guys, Ragas will be coming in shortly. Okay, one change of outfit later. How did he move from the father now to look at that?
That is when the nuns are all coming in to help the father. You know, when once you're bishop, you have your private nuns, then they can help you right away. So I would like to quote the very genius Dr. Alban, who once sang, "Hello Africa, tell me how's it doing." So here you are. Here we are, brothers and sisters, and
I like an outfit. I like the African shirt.
Yeah, it looks familiar. You had it in your own hands, you know. So you have already touched holy material before it was even worn by the Holy Father. So the thing is that with it, just wanted to get the people in the chats from the both of us a bit more relaxed, so they can forget about.
They're all laughing. They're wondering what just happened. How did he change? Like, what time did he change the outfit? Like, guys. This is the creative. This is a father. He's capable of miracles and stuff. So don't ask me. I don't know. You guys are now getting wild. He's like, Google, how did he change outfits that fast? He did not even like leave this. I'm like, guys, whatever the father does, I am not going to question. I'm not going to ask. He will tell you his miracles and his tricks Everybody's wondering how you change the outfit so fast. That's why people are getting like, huh? What's going on?
Yeah, so about the channel. So again, I started this journey like 4 years ago because of boredom, obviously, because we were all trapped at home and we were not allowed to go out like everyone else in the world as well. However, again, first video, rotten bad, 2 views in the first 24 or 48 hours, and those 2 views were me. And I was so proud of myself about this crap stuff that was actually there. And I thought, okay, let's, who's David Guetta? He just presses play. Though I mix. However, with the years, I thought, okay, I didn't really take it serious in regards of content creation, in regards of channel branding, in regards of trying to create something at least semi-unique, because obviously there's a lot of DJs on YouTube who think they're better than David Guetta. I wouldn't go that far because he just presses play these days. He doesn't really DJ anymore. But I mean, I'm talking about idols of mine that I saw on YouTube. I mean, real gods on the turntables. I'm just some hobby DJ, but they're really gods. And obviously, if I compare them and if I look up to them, and I still do, and some of them, thankfully, are still there. At the end of the day, the point is that eventually I got my little niche, I thought, and did my thing. And then I believe it was in the beginning or middle of February when I strived through some channels and met a certain person called Red's Room with his ding, 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 ding in the car. You know, this signal.
Wait. You know, Resume is laughing. Resume is using a ninja on your live stream, and he thinks I cannot see him. But what has sold him out is him asking about drinks, because Resume is always having drinks for some reason. So that is what has sold him out.
Most likely he also has drinks without a reason, but that's another story. Cheers, man. So, guys, if you want to collect receipts,
I went to Nigeria to look for 7 wives. So
if you ever see a glass like this on Goga's channel, you know what's going on. There's party 24/7. Good to see you. And because Red's Room is there, and you know, drinking himself up to the level. So Red's Room, my friend, Prost. But funny enough, as Red's Room is now mentioned, I believe it was mid-February when I saw some person in some car somewhere in the world. I had no idea who that was, but I was like, okay, let's have a look what he's doing.
Wait, it was just random. You're scrolling on YouTube streets and you saw him.
And I saw Red's Room. Yeah,
wow.
And I was like, okay, there's at least a person that has some viewers, and because there were people sitting there like this. There was one who I called Miss Pancake Face. She had like 100 viewers, 120, 130 viewers sitting there. Mostly, I'm really my deepest apologize. Nothing against Indian people, but most likely from India because she had the red dot here. And there was not because of a sniper. It was just because of some red dot here. And so she sat there and she looked in the camera and fell asleep. And she got one, you believe it or not, she got one super chat after the other, and I was like, wait a second, what is this thing with the dollar sign? Why do I not have that? So that is when I started to realize, okay, I have 738 hours versus the 3,000 hours. We're talking about like 23rd, 24th of February-ish. And that very day, I kept scrolling, and then I ended up in Red's Room's, I wouldn't even say house, as he was in a car that's called a mobile home in winter. And so I ended up in Red's Room's channel, and he had this jing jing jing, this ring thing, and this other ring thing.
Ding ding thing.
And all the thing he was like, the roof of Raggers, welcome to the house, ding 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 ding. Hey, big up, buddy, ding 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 ding. And it was like ding ding ding. It was, I felt like in Las Vegas or something like that. I was like, what the hell is this about? And then I was like, okay, let's have this guy's funny. Let's have a look at what he's doing. And literally what he did was he greeted everyone. He told what he's doing and stuff in a very nice, pleasant, easygoing way. And again, it was like ding, 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 and it was ding, 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 and it was like Las Vegas in Canada, which I didn't know that it was in Canada, because I just wrote, hi, hello, and my quote always is when I meet someone new, hi, greetings from Germany, nice to meet you, welcome to my screen. That's my opener regularly. So I did that there, ended up getting this commented on he commented, oh, what's up? The world of Ragu, so you need a blue name. I was like, huh? What is that? What is the blue name? I mean, obviously I had my own channel, but my chat, let's say, was not that frequented as it is nowadays.
Yeah.
There were, if I was lucky on a premiere, there was one fellow DJ from somewhere else in Germany who did his premiere after my premieres, and I didn't even know what a raid was, whatever, nothing. I didn't know nothing. I did my uploads once a week, done, waiting for fame to come, never arrived. So that very day, kind of, if you will, changed my life, because I met Red Room in his mobile car home there in 500-meter high snow in Canada. It was literally snowing that day, and he did his ding 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 thing, and we talked, and then he said, "Oh yeah, everyone, oh you," and then he said something, and this is now getting more serious, because he said something very, very essential that actually got me into rethinking YouTube to actually learn YouTube in the first place. He said, all right, everyone here has a blue name now. That makes it a lot easier to connect to each other, help each other on your channels. That was Red's Room, quoting exactly that between his ding 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 things. And I was like, hold on, why would someone, and I'm talking about my typical German, strict, organized, egoistic way, why would someone who is on his own channel, why would someone in his own channel tell someone to connect to another channel rather than letting them stay there? I was like, hold on. And then I asked him, hey, bro, it was my first appearance in his chat, and I was like, hey, I got a little channel DJing a little bit and stuff like that. That was before I was ever on camera myself. So Red Room then said, okay, yeah, brother, here's your blue name. You go ahead. You guys connect to the World of Ragos. I was pinned right away, and I was like, geez. Looked on my channel a day later, like 15 more subscribers or something. And I thought subscriber is the big thing to have. Yes, I need subscribers. I didn't know nothing about, okay, how to generate, how to be more efficient on the watch hours. I didn't know nothing about how to generate the audience that also stays. I had no idea about this thing with help each other on the channel is really a valid thing. I had no idea about that, obviously. And you mentioned it, Goga, in one of your, I believe, Wednesday services, when you said that it is good if you have a big channel, but those people with a big channel really have a big problem because they don't get the viewers, because they don't have a community. So thanks to Red's Room and thanks to this ding ding ding, which actually kept me on his channel, I got introduced to this wonderful community. And also I was really blessed to meet people like Unfiltered Maria. It's funny enough, independent from this community, because I also strolled through the channels in some night. Maria did what she always did. She was cooking wonderful African food. And so I, introduced myself. I did not ask, hey, where's you from, what you're doing, how tall are your feet and stuff like that. I just, as you know, that most of the female channel hosts unfortunately get it. I did not ask her to show boobs or anything. I just said hello. And obviously with a little introduction, hi, I'm from Germany, stuff like that. So we started talking, and then she said, and interestingly, even though I have a logo, my little record logo in front of my name, and even though I'm not having some, I don't know, Frank, whatever surname name on the channel, she never had the idea in the first place that I have an own channel. So after 3 or 4 visits, I was like, hey, maybe one day you can visit my channel. And she was like, oh, you have a channel? You have a channel? Oh, really? Really? You have a channel? And then she right away took a second thought. You got 12,000 subscribers and you're not monetized. And I was like, oops. There goes the crucifixion. And that is actually when it started that from Red's Room, from Unfiltered Maria, and then all her friends that are in the channel, all the people here in this wonderful community. Special shout out to my diocese in Kisi, and people from Nigeria, from Kenya, from Ghana, from wherever. So the funny thing is, and this is really not meant any disrespectful whatsoever, but I'm getting so what Africa in the past used to be called the so-called third world. Consider the internet and the usage of YouTube. The third world is me, and I'm getting all the help from the other people who are so well getting this. And I'm really, really honest on this. Without all that, I mean, I'm getting towards the 3,000 watch hours now. That is one thing. On the other hand, without all the motivation, well, brother, you want to do more? You want to get there? You have to do more content. You have to show your face, bro. You have to show your face, brother. You have to show. If you DJ, you have to be the DJ, not your hands doing the DJ. You have to be there with your face. You have to be there showing the people what you are doing. You have to do talking to the people. And I was like, oh, why me? Why me? And I was like, okay. And then Nate Chovy, she's kicking my butt every time. A Ninja sending me, Kirky Lily sending me her people regularly. people are rating me, me visiting their people, but I'm also, and this is the most important thing, watch hours beside, channel beside, everything aside, I met wonderful people here through this community, and I met total crazy people. I'm not mentioning names who are giving me tinnitus in my ears when they're screaming my name. I'm not mentioning names, but those people know who they are. But it's lovely. I mean, we have so many unique personalities here. Some of them more silent, some of them shout out loud, some of them totally crazy, some of them totally. No, none of you guys is innocent anymore since you know me anyway. So forget about the innocent part. So that is all gone. That is, since I'm there, there's no innocence anymore, by my blessings. But in the end of the day, the father actually happened because of a couple of things. But before I do that, I would like to be excused for like 2 minutes, because obviously I wouldn't say that I would have to do alternative breathings, but I would say I just need to get something to drink and stuff. If I have like a minute or two.
Yeah, granted.
All right. Thank you.
Granted. Okay, guys. As our co-host takes a quick break, I hope you are enjoying this conversation so far. Because I am. I'm definitely enjoying this conversation. Rugged can talk for days, and I like how he's such an amazing storyteller. And I think that's a great thing. When you have a storyteller on the Sunday service, everybody just listening. Somebody may be busy cooking dinner for their family. Somebody may be driving somewhere and they're just tuned in and they're enjoying the conversation. And that is the whole beauty about the Sunday service. So as I wait for him to get back, I've already highlighted a few questions to those of you. Some of you have asked some amazing questions. I'm going to answer them. So Damilola is already saying Ragas is going for the alternative breathing. Let me keep quiet. Doctor Finance, welcome, Doctor. Nice to see you, Doctor. And Doctor, thank you so much for applying for that initiative that I launched. Doctor, thank you so much for applying for that initiative. I saw your application. I will consider it, and I will definitely get back to you. The Tribe Goga will definitely get back to you and say that we can support you to get your pin towards the threshold. We'll say that you can get your pin towards the threshold. Yeah, if you're watching the live stream once again from my channel and you've not connected to the world of Ragus, click on the pinned link. It will take you directly to his live stream. We are multi-streaming on both channels, so it's happening. The revolution is being televised both in Kenya and in Germany. Happy new month to everybody. Happy new month to everybody. It's a new month. So as you're listening to the Sunday service, I also want you to start thinking of what is your plan for the new month? What is your challenge? What are you planning to do in terms of your creative journey in this new month? Let me see. East African Workout Girl says, for the 9 months of trust, says, host and co-host, you're amazing. Thanks so much, East African Workout Girl, for the 9 months of trust. I don't take it for granted. I really appreciate the support. And guys, once again, if you have not yet connected to the world of Regis on the link, make sure you click on that link. It will take you directly there. I like how he's talking about practical things, and I want him to finish his thought. Then I can ask him the questions you guys have asked on the chat. Welcome back, Regis. Thank you so much for coming back. And yeah, if you have any questions, just drop them on the chat. I'm able to see them, and I've put a star on the 4 of them so far. So I'm going to share it with them when share the questions with him once we're able to. Yeah, once you've given us the backstory, and then we can come back to the question. Right.
Yeah, so thank you very much thank you to let me have the commercial presentation and obviously some wardrobe change again. This is kind of a statement actually, because this is independent from any father story whatsoever. Many years ago, I heard a DJ playing in London. It was the first time ever. I was living in London for roughly a bit more than 2 years.
Ragus, we can't see the wardrobe change. Don't worry, it's black. It's black. We want to see there. We want to see what it's written.
Oh, wait a second. It was there you go. I do church sound.
I do church sound. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that is because of the banner, I think. So the thing is that many years ago I saw a DJ, and I was really, really blessed to be in that very tiny club in London in 2002 to have the money to go there, because literally I had no money. When living in London is like living in the streets somewhere and wherever. So the funny thing is that congratulations, Vamuyu, Vamuyu, congratulations. The thing is that I saw a gentleman playing there called Frankie Knuckles, rest his soul. He died way too early. He was a god, and he is, for me, still is a god on the turntables when it comes to gospel house music, together with a gentleman called DJ Spen, who still is there, who still is active. Frankie Knuckles took house gospel, well, first of all, he was one of the first who created house music in regards of, back then in the end of the mid 80s, people in the clubs in Chicago, Detroit, that areas mostly, they have invented this sound because disco was still on, as you all know, ABBA and all these funny things, but that was the early 80s, but people were fed up, like, okay, one record was finished, the DJ said something, next record were on, so there was no continuous move, as you know, these days. So they invented house music, like they went home, bought the cheapest equipment ever that they could get somewhere, third hand, fourth hand, as long as this tape thing was running for like 2 or 3 rounds, to cut out something, put it together. It was all handmade back then. There was no digitization. And just not going through back to the Second World War until now, but fun fact is, those people, DJ Span, DJ Pierre, but for me, most likely Frankie Knuckles was the biggest influence when it comes to house music / gospel house music. He brought this into a total new level. And at that very night, he played a set of vinyl records back then, just remember. He played a set of 5.5 hours in a row. Just gospel house music. And there's parts of that available on YouTube. It was so electrifying. It was like totally, I was on the dance floor for 5.5 hours, literally. I did not go to the bar. I did not drink nothing. And by the way, I never took any drugs at all. This is without any joking. So I didn't take any funny ecstasy things or whatever. I was on the dance floor 5.5 hours in a row. That was my awakening, if you will, for the getting interested into gospel house music, how it is done, how did they put it together. And if I play my sets now, obviously with a priest gown on as a joke, as we all know, but the thing is, having the spirits of this music for me personally, and this is without being blasphemic, however, music for me is my personal religion, more than football, more than anything else in the world. Music is my religion. And if I then have the opportunity now, me just doing this genre of electronic music, house, techno and stuff, having the opportunity to play around with all those, but I'm always going back to the gospel thing. And honestly, since being back on YouTube, since having the feedback, and Red's Room never wanted to believe in the first place, by the way, that a party on gospel house is possible. That was on my second or third appearance while he was in his mobile home in Canada in the snow somewhere, doing this ding 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 thing. He didn't believe that it was possible to do a gospel sermon. Oh, not sermon, but a gospel house session, having people partying on gospel house music. And I was like, okay, bro, what if I teach you wrong? So then I thought, and that was the very week when I bought my Gone. That was the very week before your 5 years Sunday, 5 years anniversary. So on the Saturday, I did this, and you didn't even, I believe you have briefly seen me here and there, or we have said hello and stuff like that. I went to your channel 1 or 2 times before your 5 years, but I did my, and so I started Saturday, this gospel thing, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 10 a.m. in the morning, Red's Room time. And he was like, bro, I do not believe what I hear. So, and I had my priest gone on. That was my, so my priest gone lost its virginity, so to speak, on that day. And that is how we got it going. And it was an amazing thing. And Reds came coming back. He started telling others. And then when I came back to his channel, just saying hello, he was like, guys, connect to the word of Ragos, connect to the word. These beats are awesome. He's awesome. This is bros. this is gospel, and this is da 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 da. And he was like, and I was like, Jesus Christ, what? And then I had to send him. Then I sent him some. Red Troop is actually the first one who I ever sent a super chat to, because he, first of all, I didn't know how it worked. Then I had to connect some whatever thing over my phone to get the super chat done. But on the other hand, he did so many commercials for my channel back then, and I still didn't get it because I had no idea what a ninja is. I had no idea what it means to be in the bushes, in the streets, to write receipts, to do whatever. That is all what I learned a couple of weeks later. But the point is that was gospel music always gets me back, always. And there's sequences of that very awakening night for me that I had back then in London, and that was Frankie Knuckles. He was for me is the biggest, even without, he never wore a gown, but he is the high priest for me of gospel house music. And there's wonderful sequences that you can see on YouTube that I can strongly recommend to watch. And if you want to understand the living pope of house music, so to speak, I'll write the name here in the chat, in both chats. I strongly recommend to have a look for DJ Span. DJ Span is more on Instagram than on YouTube, but he is still playing with vinyls. He is still playing his live sets in clubs and also on Instagram and stuff. He is, and for me, well, since Frankie Knuckles has passed away way too early, for me, he is the Pope. He's the real god of decks, if you will. My big idol. Never met him before, unfortunately, but yeah.
I love the engagement on the chat that is going on just from that backstory. And it's African Workout Girl. Thank you so much for that blessing. I see the super sticker. Thank you so much for that blessing. It's African Workout Girl. May your pot bring in abundance. You know, there are people may not understand what gospel house is. Maybe for me, I think I got that word from you, and because I noticed how the Saturday, your Saturday live stream was very upbeat. It is very like it's very uplifting. It just gives people like some amazing energy. It gives people like some amazing energy. It feels like a nice place to be in. Why do you think gospel house resonates deeply with people? Let's say as opposed to other genres, and you know. And probably that's why, you know, like you said it, like you're on the dance floor for 5 hours. There's something that it did to you in that particular space. Why do you think it resonates deeply with people that they can actually jump to it for long?
Well, if you look, I will give you a good example, a living example from our community. Anastasia Blessed is a very believing person. She believes in God and she goes to church service on a very regular basis.
Yeah.
And if you watch her video from, I believe today, 2 weeks ago, she actually live streamed from her being in church. And there was this gospel choir singing and the pastor was praying, and it was very energetic. It was very energetic. Now, people, and now the gospel, the original gospel goes actually back to times where, let's say, darker colored people were not treated the best way from the white people. I don't want to put any politics in it, but let's talk about slavery in the 17th, 18th century and stuff like that, when people were kidnapped from Africa, going to what is now called America or wherever to work as slaves, and the Afro-American people who were born there were slaves back then as well, so working on the plantages and all that. But that is actually when the gospel has started. A lot of religious, let's say, movements, religious music movements, regardless if it is gospel, classical Christian music, or whatever thing, have been developed through times of suffer, through times of sorrow, through times of torture and whatever, because people still believed in God and people still believed that there must be something better. Think of the song "Go Down Moses." Think of the song, of those things, and I mean, these are really the old classical ones. Most of you guys might not know it in that context, but the people back then, when they did their church service, and we're not talking about techno music yet, we're already dancing to those kind of tunes. They were always going like "Glory, Glory, Hallelujah" or "Happy Day," all these things. It is People are
Yes.
moving around. You will never go to and I'm not meaning it in any bad way, so please forgive my phrasing, but I wouldn't have any better idea to call it. You never go to a black community in a church and people just sit there, wait until the pastor is finally done so that they can go to lunch. That will never happen,
It
period.
will never happen.
You will have people dancing while sitting. You will have people like Anastasia really going with it and getting lost in the spirits, in the music. And eventually, if a movement becomes like more transparent to the public, when internet, TV, and all that stuff, sooner or later, by coincidence, one person hears a great song. Let's stay with "Oh Happy Day." You have this typical gospel organ music, right? This typical, we all know this organ, the organ music that is there. It's not the classical organ from some Christian church in Europe. We're talking about this deep, vibrating organ in the United States, in some little village in Africa. They still have this organ. They still have this organ music, and that around that let's say easily you would say put some beats, put some hi-hats, put some snares, have a singer, put some loops, done. Obviously, there's a lot more because you have to know more about harmonics and stuff, but you can really people are dancing to the music anyway already, so why not putting some extra beats and make them enjoy it outside church as well? And the texts of those tracks that I'm playing are not from me. They're original. Many times there are snippets from original gospel songs that are put together in some kind of loop, some kind of whatever thing, but made danceable also outside the church. Why do I say also outside the church? As I said, if you go to a so-called black community, to a so-called black church, you will never see people just sitting there. Never. And that is exactly the experience going back to 1984 that I had back then as a kid in that very tiny little bush church on Easter Sunday. Just without any instruments because there was none. But that is if you will, that was my first gospel experience that I had, without knowing that 40 plus years later, I would actually play gospel music on the turntables. Obviously, let's reveal it now as I'm doing my slogan here. I play church. The T-shirt says I do church sound for Miracle Ask Jesus. So obviously I'm not a real priest, as we all know, for those who see me here the first time. But it is like kind of make yourself unique a little bit, like we all try to find our niche. But on the other hand, the point is really gospel music, any kind of, let's say, religious music you can transform into something danceable, can actually be used by the church to generate to get the new generation inside church. Let me give you an example of 1996, and this is really a true story. That was not Gospel House because I really didn't get touch of it, but in 1996 in Düsseldorf, where I'm from, we had a relatively young vicar there. He was not priest yet, but he was, like, let's say, priest in apprenticeship, so to speak. That was before he got the official blessings from Rome. He was a really unique guy. He was a really cool guy, and he even went to the clubs to party, believe it or not, Saturday nights, and went to do his service in church Sunday morning on time. So one day he saw me DJing, and he said, "Hey, bro, would you be happy to play in church?" And I was like, excuse me, are you on drugs or something? Anything I should know about? Bro, you okay? I didn't know he was a pastor by then. And he said, no, I'm a pastor, and a reverend, vicar pastor, so getting there, just before getting the blessings from Rome. But I'm considering to do something new in church, like a techno sermon. And I was like, bro, you do know techno songs, they do not have texts. They only have rhythms, beats, and sounds, and if you're lucky, a little bit of melody. Yeah, I know that. But I was thinking I'd do some prayers, we did some music, we don't put any chairs in the church. We just need to let the people dance, and I speak in between. And I was like, okay. So it was like a 3-hour sermon, very funny, very unique. People came, believe it or not, because what he did, he took he printed flyers, he put them into all the clubs in the area, said techno sermon then and then. And that was the first time I kind of was involved in something like that, far away from those high priests of decks, as I would call those people who I just mentioned. Frankie Knuckles, DJ Spen, DJ Pierre, and many others. Marshall Jefferson, one of them. Those legends, I mean, really, for me, they're gods in regards of the music. But that was fun. And considering, again, gospel music, and if you go to my channel, which I obviously encourage you to do, or stay there if you're here anyway, if you go through my live sets, you will see everything that is gospel. Everything that is gospel. There's actually mixed music on gospel house music. So taking tracks, cut them a little bit off and on, and put beats on it, put loops on it, put melodies on it, or just leave the melody as it is. You still hear many, many, many tracks with the original organ, which is like awesome, with this typical Black community gospel choir church organ thing. And then you even hear the choir singing. This is like, as I said, I'm a Nigerian trapped in a white man's body. I cannot do anything about it, but I still feel more like having this African feeling, especially when it comes to those times back then, having witnessed those things. And also, I think that got me. So obviously, I play a lot of electronic music parts and niches, and play around with the different opinions that they are. However, my part that is really touching me the most is the gospel part, and that is not because of me getting this on my channel, but this is really like, there's so many variations, and you really think, okay, this is a remix already of that remix. I would have an idea of another remix, and this would be like, geez, what can we do with this? How can we actually put a complete new track with 2 or 3 snippets of the existing one? And this is like juggling with balls, but in a more deeper going way.
I love how you went. Guys, did you know that I asked him that question and he just went on a tangent explaining? Red Room has just said that I love the way you gave the history, because that actually backed up the answer in a very elevated way. And that is, guys, and that's what happens when you're passionate about something. Like it literally just comes out naturally. You can be waking up in the middle of the night and you can start like going on and on and on about it. Curious question, Ruggles. Have you ever like spun a set in a spiritual setting or a church in your DJ career?
If I have spun what?
Have you ever spun a set like for gospel house in a spiritual setting or a church? Considering.
In a church, no. But honestly, I did this techno thing in the church, 1996, but that was not gospel house. Obviously, that was like real techno music with some melodies and stuff, but it was techno music. It was like oots, 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 and that is what the pastor wanted to do. I said, okay, you go. Funny thing is, that was the only DJ job I never got paid for. So, in fact, I even got, but also I didn't donate anything because I was like, I do this for free. Okay, you don't get nothing from me either. But no, I would love to do that, to be honest. And I was really thinking, if I ever had a chance, and I'm actually working on something to be happening in Nairobi maybe next year. I'm in contact with a couple of people there now from, let's say, the club scene, and that is off YouTube. But if that is possible, then next year I'll try to make it happen to play 1 or 2 gigs there in Nairobi, and nice. Nothing to be confirmed yet, but working on it. I'm having contacts. But what I would love to do one day, and I was really thinking, if possible, I don't know if that is doable, if they would agree on that, but this Church of Anastasia, where she was doing her service to her Lord, which was so energizing just watching her, aside from all the other people and the singing and stuff. I thought, and the church, from what I saw from the angle of her camera, was really looking cool. And I was thinking, like, it would be cool actually to do an after-hour party in the church, me doing this is no joke, it's like having my DJ deck on the altar, obviously not wearing the gown then, because due to obvious reasons, but being in a church with all these people who are already energized and sweating and still in the loop of the gospel energy, me then playing another 2.5-3 hour set there without any other prayers, just people celebrating the music, like the gospel music. I think that would be like one of the most awesome moments I could ever have.
And I think that will be like a very that will be quite an experience, and I think it will. You do have. I think you do have. I think it will be welcome. You do have. You do have. I think a likelihood of getting a very great reception in terms of that kind of a thing. And yes, thank you so much, Red Room, for reminding me. Yes, 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 yes. If you have not connected to the world of Ruggers, the live stream is multi-streamed. We are streaming in both in Nairobi and Germany. So in case you are not yet, in case you are wondering, Goga, where is everybody else? Why are you talking to random people that I can't see? They're all on the world of Ruggers side. So they're watching the stream from Germany. So you need to click on the pinned link. It will take you to Germany. We're also trying to get his watch hours support. He only needs like 300. I keep saying 300 because only five people can actually make that happen. He has a playlist of 50 hours on his channel that you can run for 2 days, and we can help get him there this week. I thought I should put out that there. So yeah, I know some people are stuck on my lesson because of this crown thing. It's okay. He will really back here because people are competing for number 1, number 2, number 3. So they're like, look at me, I'm not leaving because I will lose my crown. It's okay. You can lose your crown. Go and watch it from there. Your crown, the crown is rotational. YouTube rotates the crowns. Like you see, even now, Misha Bless is number 1 and she's not even using the crown. So the crown.
I can say for those who are missing their crowns, before I go, I can put my gown back on. They get my very personal blessings, and can obviously always Saturdays after sermon watch me or visit me in my confession room. I close the door.
This crowd thing I think is getting out of hand. I think as soon as most of us get these crowns, I think probably this month, I think the excitement will die down. So Ragus, we did talk about your DJing, and for you say it's a hobby, not really like a main. How would you say that you don't call it like a main hustle? Let's talk about in terms of investment in a hobby. For example, as a DJ, you do need gear. As a DJ, you need like these lights that are just doing rounds in your face. It's already creating like a disco feel. I feel like I'm in a club, just watching your screen. But what is the kind of investment that goes into the craft?
I remember when we did our little rehearse on this a couple of days ago. You were like, "Oh, your sound is really good from the microphone, and your camera is very sharp and stuff like that." Well, that's the unfortunate that the camera is so sharp. But I try to iron my face every morning so that I look kind of available for public. But so here's the deal. I mean, the obviously I've done unboxing ceremony, unboxing video of my DJ gear that I recently bought a couple of weeks ago. But I started with the cheapest of the cheapest of the cheapest. So I started with a two-line only DJ gear from the same company, from Traktor Native Instruments, and now I'm not getting money for that, so don't worry about it. I started with 2 speakers, which I still have. I didn't change them. And this light thing that you mentioned is a fifth. Back then, this is the second one now because the first one died after 4 years. But the first one cost me $12, and this one now that has even more posh lights and even, believe it or not, a remote control. Yay! It has it cost me like €18, which is, I don't know in shilling, but it's like literally like 17, 18 US, something like that. So the cheapest of the cheapest. The microphone cost me, I believe, €18 a couple of weeks ago. And I didn't even bought it because I wanted to speak on camera. Obviously not, because that was not my plan. Talking about camera, I have 2 of them. They're super cheap webcams. And because obviously you can buy a camera for €300. You can buy a green screen for €500. I bought myself a green screen that I can fix on my chair, which is awkward because then I cannot move anymore because otherwise the picture of is moving away. So it is a round thing and it fits exactly until here. I would maybe one day, when I'm in good moods, I'll post a picture on my from the behind the scenes thing from the Monday talk or something. If you see that, you will think, okay, this guy is totally insane. No, get the guys with the straight jackets. It looks like a huge green thing fixed on my chair. But if I sit like this and I cannot move because I hardly ever look to the screen or to the camera because I have to keep the screen in mind, and StreamYard in mind. Okay,
and the lights.
How are the corners? Is it moving? Yes or no? So I bought very cheap equipment, and here's why. Yes, I do have a full-time job, and that always comes first, period. So if I one day disappear for a couple of days, obviously ordinary life called job and stuff is always in the first place, because that's what I earn my money from. Yes, I do work in software/tech, not necessarily as an engineer, but more in this from the sales perspective, but that would take too long to go through that now. But let's say I work in tech, and I do have a bit of ground knowledge, basic knowledge of that kind of stuff. But still, I need to learn what is a ninja. Still, I need to learn what is in the bushes, what is in bananas, and what is all that crap about. And I will finish my part here with a beans and banana story, I promise, because I know that time is a bit limited, but I promise you I'll give you that story before I go, so that you guys will have nightmares tonight. So, however, point is that I decided, okay, I want to have that stuff 4 years ago. I want to start something with DJing again, but I don't want to go for what we call, no, I wouldn't use that word because it's YouTube. It is, let's say, I don't need the shiny little gold on the steak or something. I just want to have the steak. So I don't need this gold thing, and I don't need this Turkish guy doing this kind of stuff, if that makes sense. I don't need that. I just want to have a steak, period. So what happens is I bought the cheap DJ gear, which I now, after 4 years, and having it used to the maximum extent, I've now upgraded after 4 years, and I've thought a lot about it. I've thought about many alternatives. I thought about many opportunities. Shall I not? Spoke to a friend of mine who is a professional studio musician and has a huge studio at home. I said, bro, what do you think about this one? He said, yeah, do not buy the one in between, buy that one, and then you are good for the next 6, 7, 8 years. Which I did. And I really have to say, I'm not a stingy person necessarily, but I'm very careful with what I spend my money for, especially when a certain amount is reached. I'm not revealing the amount, of course. If you watch my unboxing video, you can Google the prices by yourself. However,
you become a proper content creator. You're pointing people to the video. I love that.
Well, obviously, I learned from the best people in this very room.
Go watch my unboxing video, guys. I love it. I love that statement.
But seriously, you watch my unboxing video, and then there you also see the differences between the old machine and the one that I have now. Obviously, there's a lot more sound opportunities already included, which I don't need an extra program for, but it takes a while to also get used to the new stuff, obviously, if it is extended, but I will not reveal prices here. But let's say everything else that I have here, my screens, secondhand, my keyboard, borrowed from my former employer, and he never asked it back, so borrowed. Some stuff that I have here. My iPhone is, oh, Jesus, it's like no, this is not second. This is like 2.5, 3 years old now. Still using it on a daily basis. And all my ninjas that I created, obviously, I don't put any money into them. Here and there, I put super chats because I know people have been done a lot for me. I know super chats are very much liked, and maybe one day, if I get the dollar side, maybe someone shows mercy to me as well and spends me $1 or $2. Since my coffee chat, actually, since my buy me a coffee has been very, very dry recently. I'm just saying. However, making the most out of this. But on a serious note, what I've learned on this is it is not necessarily the expensive equipment you need. The question is, what is the ingredients that you want to put on your channel? Obviously, if you are someone like Agatha, if you're someone like Talata, Damilola, taking the camera everywhere and trying to make good content, which is not DJ related, maybe your camera should be a nuance better, or you take care of the sounds when you edit the video. In my case, I have exactly two options. Either I do a live or I do a premiere in regards of DJ. So literally, the only thing I have to do with this camera that now I'm sitting obviously in my bishop throne, but obviously my camera is just a little bit more over there where my finger points now, and then I'm standing, and the other camera up there is pointing on my DJ gear. That's it. The the light is always the same. The music obviously varies because it's on my computer and software. The screens are there anyway, and that's what I do. The only thing I bought for cheap money was very expensive. As I told you back on your 5 years anniversary party, was a priest gown for €30. And I thought, and this was kind of a, let's say, male intuition, if you will, which doesn't exist, as a woman would say, to buy that after I had this conversation with Red's Room on that Monday or Tuesday. I said, let me get this guy laughing. Let me get this guy laughing big time. So this is why I actually bought it. And rest is history. Then a day after my first gospel sermon wearing this gown, I came to your 5 years. And the rest is history.
Father, there is. I like this backstory because it's a you. I like the joke you cracked when you started talking about this. That Red's Room when Raga started this conversation, he gave a very interesting story on how he got to know the community, and he attributed it to your gear. Ding 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 ding. That ding 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 ding. You always like blinking in your car.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he talked a lot about your ding ding thing. So I will not be surprised if people start calling you ding ding this week. I mean, just saying it loudly. Because I'm thinking about it. Red Room, I'm thinking about it because I'm just thinking about it. So if you see me typing ding ding on your live stream, just bear with me. It is because of Father Ragus.
Yeah, because it is like the Las Vegas thing. I don't know if whoever has been to. Let me say it this way. Most of the people here might have not been to Las Vegas, but if you have ever been into a casino or something where there's slot machines to play,
yes,
this is exactly the feeling I had when I first time saw Red's Room in his car. Because when I entered the channel, when you're on your smartphone, you see someone is moving there, but you don't hear anything unless you jump in there. Depends on whatever amenity and stuff. So I went on the channel, and the first thing I heard, ding, 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 and I was like, Jesus.
And you have this radio voice. So he does that thing with his nice radio voice, and he welcomes you, and you're like, okay, I'm going to stay here. Like,
it was funny, yeah. He couldn't welcome me because he didn't see my name popping up in the chat in the first place. As you know, on YouTube, you have to say something first in the chat so that people see that you're there. But first thing I heard,
before you said hi, okay.
I went in there, ding, 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 ding. I was like, jeez, that was the first sound I heard on Red Room's channel. But as I said, I mean, I know time. We are running a little bit out of time. I have the feeling, because I know that you want to share your own thoughts as well. But having said that, I mean, again, just summarize this stuff with the equipment. It is not necessarily the cost of the equipment that is important. It is absolutely not important. As long as it works, that is the most important thing. If you do daylight videos, your normal smartphone works perfectly. Just make some editing, and you can get those softwares for free on the internet, and you get a lot of good advice from those people. You have this wonderful software for free, and Goga has already sent like Canva and all that stuff that you can work with. Obviously, if you want to have the whole version, you have to pay for it, but there is so much free gadgets already on Canva, for instance. There is so many software, StreamYard, for instance, that you can use for free if you want to, and all these things that you can use in the basic version. And remember what Goga said, and he's right. We are all small YouTubers. Obviously, we all look for this little piece of gold nugget here and there to pick up and get some stuff. But if you want to pick up a little piece of gold nugget, you don't have to build an entire factory around this little piece of gold nugget. You just start with a simple shovel. That's it. And that's what I do, period. And nevertheless, obviously, I owe this one story before I then most likely, not necessarily being kicked out, but being sent back to my bishop's service. The thing is that when you stroll through those rooms, through those chat rooms, through those channels, you meet all these wonderful people. And on one particular evening, I was in a channel of someone certain, and that person was eating beans and rice, as you do in Africa, right? You do. It's one of the national dishes, so to speak. So that person was eating rice and beans, and I did my jokes about this alternative breathings, which obviously is alternative breathings. Not using the F word on this one, but everyone was laughing at me, and I was like, "Oh, I think see they find my jokes funny." Then someone certain came to me and said, "Bro, maybe you misunderstand the context." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And he was like, "Well, the bean is somewhere there at the woman's part, which is like giving some blessings, and the banana is the counterpart from the male perspective. And that is actually when the box of Pandora was opened, if you will, when Alice in Wonderland from the father's perspective got there." So I started, okay, I was like in every channel that I went that very night and the followings. I was like, "Hey, where's my paradise of beans and bananas?" And people were like, "What is he talking about?" I didn't, and surprisingly, I was not kicked out of any of those rooms, even though I did not have a blue jacket by then, because none of you guys knew me back then. I just heard the stories, and I was like, "Okay, let's go." So one led to the other. I keep this really short. One led to the other, and I start my own religion. I start my own church, the religion, the Church of the Beans and Bananas. And then came the father thing, then came the gone, then people started calling me Father Mess, obviously, and the Father Beans, and the confession room was started. This is how it all started. And it was not me necessarily inventing it, but from the comments that I get somewhere, like, "Oh, you're Father Mess. Oh, how is the nuns queuing up?" And I say, "Yeah, they're waiting in the confession room." That's how it was born. This is how things come together, the so-called chain effect, if you will. And it is just the most hilarious times when I go to some chat room. Just happened recently, and people obviously play with this father stereotype, and this is nice to have a role, and I can go into this role without being having to reveal too much about myself. Obviously, none of us does, and it is nice being around, and it is nice. Obviously, to some people, I have a bit more deeper personal contact, but having some fun, having a good time. That is so. So people always ask me, "Why you still do that? If you're not monetized, and how frustrating?" And I said, "No, it's not frustrating, because me did not start this YouTube thing 4 years ago to get money. And first, we will not get rich of this anyway, period. But I think if I still am liked in regards of spreading some fun, spreading some joy, making people good moods when I play music, when I DJ, when they come to my channel, even if they don't, and hide in the bushes and just listen in, I think that is the biggest blessing I can get. And if that keeps going like that, then I will be very happy about that.
I love that, and I think you've captured some very great thing. And don't worry, I'm not kicking you out or anything. I just want to make sure that we are not leaving these people out, so that at least we can take a few questions. Life Reality USA says, "I love rice as well." I love rice as well. And then Ragus, you talked about bananas and beans, and nobody will ever kick you out of YouTube because of bananas, because banana is a very sensitive word on YouTube. It means a lot. I think all YouTubers know what a banana is. So anytime you mention banana, they just get triggered a bit, because they know bananas means something. Bananas will never get you kicked out on anybody's live stream or channel, for sure. There's something you talked about here that is very, and I just want to do a follow-up on it, and it's in terms of creativity around these titles we give ourselves. You are Father Ragas, I'm President Goga, and I ran along with it. And I think I remember the first time somebody said, the first time somebody called me president, I actually declined, and I said, "Hey guys, don't call me president. I'm not a president or anything." He's like, "No, but you're the president of your academy or something, so you can run along with it." The personas we create around this our content, and it becomes like almost our second identity. For you, it is going the extra mile of even getting a gown, a priest gown, and that becomes a statement piece. You saw what happened when you walked into the Sunday service. For like about 5 minutes, you were just laughing, because that right there is a statement. Even before you spoke, you've already said your piece. 5 minutes into the live stream, people are just laughing. they're like, what is going on? Creative things like that. What is that one piece of advice, that you'd also just speak to us as creators? Because yes, it is Red Room with his ding 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 thing. That is, you see, like, since you met Red Room, that is the only thing you remember before you even spoke to him. The ding ding thing that he was playing with on his life, and it becomes an identity for somebody as a creator. What is that one piece of advice you will tell somebody in terms of embracing that creativity? And sometimes it starts off as a joke. It's for me, I say, Rangas, you are a mess. Next thing I hear, people are calling you for the mess. I'm like, what is happening? It is those simple, subtle things like that. And I think I want to just speak into it because for me, I find it very humorous. And I think I find it like a very great thing that you can run along with, and it protects you from also just disclosing too much.
Mm-hmm. Interestingly, just one side note on this. The Father and Father Mess, those two titles were actually born on that very night in your 5-year anniversary. Because when I appeared with the Gone, everyone called me the World of Ragos or something like that. But a lot of people didn't know me back then. But then when I appeared with the Gone, everyone, oh, the Father is there, the Father is there. Now you have to do confessions and all that stuff. And then when I came up and you said, oh, this is a mess. And so a minute after the Father Mess was already born. So that is how it started. What piece of advice? Ooh. On a serious note, it's hard to give advice because I'm not considering myself any special. And this is really no joke, no nothing. But I think the most important thing on YouTube is to not lose your own identity. Because if you, of course, you create a channel and you create something that is not you as a person, like revealing everything of your life in the ideal world. What do we know about Goga? Goga is a great guy. He knows everything about YouTube. But most of the people don't know that he really has a presidential airline, which is washed by the poor kids in the village. I have evidence. But on a serious note, I would hardly ever reveal anything.
Careful.
Well, but on a serious note, I would hardly ever, unless 2 or 3 persons who know me better because we speak a lot privately outside YouTube and stuff, I would hardly ever reveal too many deep personal things about me. Why? Because this is YouTube. This is not the everyday street life in real streets. This is YouTube streets. And as we all know, the internet can help you, but the internet can also kill you. And the internet can make, I mean, every one of us is vulnerable, some more, some less. And some people are more vulnerable. And therefore, I believe it is interesting. It is a thing to be taken care of. Just one example. I don't know why this is getting a common sense, but I would, for instance, never, and I mean never, put my personal phone number on my channel. Never, ever. There's my email address from Gmail. There's my Instagram. That's it. People who want to reach me, they can reach me. If they don't want to, that's fine. That's all cool. But I don't want to don't need to put my phone number there. There are 2, 3 people, 4 people who have my WhatsApp number. That's it. Period. And I wouldn't have any reason to reach them out anymore. But most of all, if you are on screen, if you do something for YouTube, what I have learned for myself, and this is just me, this is not necessarily representable, this is not the best recipe for everyone. I've learned, don't do it because of the super chats, super stickers, membership things, whatever. I talked about that a little bit last week. That's just, again, this is just my personal point of view. Because if you do it, then you put yourself under pressure. And if you put yourself under pressure, and this, I'm just reflecting this from real life. If you put yourself under pressure, doing this, I have to get this thing. I have to get my thing. I have to get my threshold. I have to get da. If you start doing content with these thoughts, the content will, in the long term, suffer on that. I just do my DJ thing. I have fun with it. I get a lot of kicks in my unholy butt to keep going, even though I'm tired and stuff, just to get to the monetization, knowing that if I get there, I will not be able to make a living from it because I'm not David Guetta or someone else. So, in the first place, do the content because you put your heartfelt blood in it. Put the content because you do the um, because of your this is your niche. This is what you want to do. This is what you think is great. And once that is up, then you can start doing commercials for it. But put the passion on the project, not on everything around it, which is not there. That is what I've learned. As I said, I don't get. I'm 4.25 years online now. Obviously, I'm not monetized, so I never ever had a super chat. Some people were nice enough to send me here and there a coffee as a matter of kind of symbolic donation, which I really appreciate. But a lot of people, and this is what for me is the most important thing, give me feedback on my stuff that I'm putting, positive, critical, and stuff. And for me personally, and this is just me. I'm not telling what people want to do, but since that was a question, this is my personal point of view. If you put your focus on the channel, and if you put the focus on your projects, if you put the focus on your ingredients, then you should actually be way better to grow more. And this is what my personal experience, since I get all this feedback on what adjustments should be done on my channel to have a better growth, not only in our community, but also from people who are coming, because this is how it's going to work. And this is a matter of fact, I get a lot of support now from the community, which I super appreciate. I have a lot of new friends here, which I super appreciate. But obviously, when the $ is in the chat, people that will then include me will go to the next one who needs to have support, and that will be focused on them. So that means I will most likely lose, in quotes, obviously, lose some kind of the community viewers due to obvious reasons, because they then focus to someone else who needs the watch hours or whatever on their channel support. And that will be me then also going to their channel and doing this stuff. So it's a matter of fact, just take things as they come. That helps me at least, and keep coming as it goes. And if you need any help on watch hours, or if you see, people are now coming to me asking, "Hey, listen, I see you're having a premiere then and then. Would you mind if you send me the rate after that?" I say, "Yeah, sure, of course, why not? What is the problem?" That is the credo of our community, as far as I learned from Goga. Help each other, and then you get help as well, and then you grow. We grow as a group.
Thank you for that. There's some nice comments that came in, and I put a star on them. So let's just tackle them so that we don't lose them. So Title Pro said, "Ragus, 0 viewers is why I do loops and not talking live streams." That was a comment by Title Pro. I will give you a moment to just react to all of them because they're related. And then Kanini Kanene said, "Previously, I could end the live streams when I could not have an audience. But nowadays, I even sing and dance at least to wait for people to join even after 39 minutes. I like that." And then Kwaki Lily says, "Yes, and I saw your channel, Ragus, and I was very proud to write you in German language, but you answered me in English." Kwaki Lily is still like holding this on you. And then TK says, "0 views should not deviate you to continue. Just keep going and people will come, even if it's just 3 views. Just try keeping them engaged and to bring more traffic."
Hallelujah. Amen.
And
Yes.
then Life Reality says, "Don't let the public know so much about your private life." Just trying to, I think, resonate with what you're trying to say.
Absolutely agree.
On the stream. And
Absolutely agree.
East African was saying, "Yes, do what you love doing with passion."
Yes.
I think she said something like that. Agatha was agreeing with you on the story of don't let super chats be the drive of your channel, because what happens if they're not there? Do you like lose yourself because of that? Yes, I think those are the quick comments that are coming in. David Ant is asking whether you eat okra.
Honestly, I don't even know what that is.
Okay, David, Ragus doesn't know what okra is, so we leave it at that. David,
maybe I know it, but maybe it's a different meaning in some other places. But
you lived in Nigeria. I am sure you ate okra in Nigeria. It was part of the soup, the gusi soup.
Could be, but again, I'm an old man. This one is getting Santa Claus white now, so I cannot remember everything. But okra, honestly, if I see it, most likely yes. But again, my favorites are yam and fufu anyway, so I may be forgiven, please.
Yeah, don't worry. The okra question is always just like a side, something to do, because when David Hunt is there, he always has to be. He got that segment at the Sunday service. So thanks so much for that. All right. So I think yeah, those are the comments that were coming through on the chat. And guys, if you have any question you want to ask Ragus, we still have him here. Don't worry, I'm not chasing him out. In case you have any question you want to ask him, we normally give a chance at least so that you guys, in case there's any question you ever wanted to ask based on what he said, or even something that you picked from your interaction with him and his channel, in case you want to ask him on the chat, feel free to drop it on the chat, and then he'll be able to answer. To the best of his knowledge while he's still on the panel. Rather, 300 watch hours to go. What has this journey been like for you? What has, since you met, Red's Room, and now you started like picking things. One of the things I like with you is also how you are very perceptive. You hear something, I think you go and do your own research on it. Next thing I see, you've implemented it on your channel, and sometimes I'm always so fascinated. It's like even something as simple as the raid thing. The raid thing, you've become even the poster child of the raid. I'm always like, oh, with Ragas, I will be raided. I don't even need to worry. I can leave my laptop running there. I will find that, oh, he sent us somewhere else. I love that because you literally apply yourself to the things. You are like, oh, what is this? Let me go and try it. And you get it. Now, on the road to 3000 WH, what has that journey been like since that conversation you first had with Red's Room, the banana drama, the connecting, and also you're also building a community, you're also building a community. So what has that been like? And as we get to the 3000 WH this week.
Okay. To have a good excuse for what I'm doing now, the winner usually smokes a big cigar in the United States. Since I'm not there yet, I'm doing the silver medal thing. I'm having a cigarette now after all this time that we are here together. For those who have issues with that, just dark your screen. But this is my white smoke, guys. White smoke. I'm planning my next invasion on Rome, so I have to practice. On a serious note, I had started 4 years ago. First 2 years, I did one video after the other, stuff like that, as I do, without even me being visible, right? So I wasn't even there. Did that for 2 years, thought I was a superstar, had a couple of people watching, following and stuff. And I thought, okay, where's the big gigs? There was no big gigs, so I went back to work. Last year, last year I did like 5 videos and quotes, because again, I was not visible on the video. It was only this turning GIF that was a record symbol and turning around with my logo on it and stuff. However, what happened was, when I was really thinking in February, beginning of February, I was like, okay, let me just sell all this stuff and, give it up. And whatever is there, I keep the videos online. They have nice memories. And whenever I want to listen to some good music, I go to my channel and there we go. Then I went to Red's Room. Then I saw When Unfiltered Maria, and they started kicking my butt. And then I have to say, and we're talking about from 3 months ago up to now. 3 months ago, I started my comeback, so to speak, with 742 watch hours. As by today, and this is June the 1st, I'm at 2,616. So I believe nobody can really say that I was lazy the last couple of months and taking a lot of advice. Obviously, as you said, do a lot of research. How can I improve things? And this is also a piece of advice that I can give guys. Use ChatGPT. ChatGPT is for free. Use it. I did that. I've just today and yesterday until late in the night modified my channel on the descriptions of my playlist, on my channel, my general channel appearance on the text, and I've improved all my logos, all my banners that are now looking very dodgy. But if you look there on this very screen, The very left one and the very right one, the first row, those banners, they're brand new. They're brand new. They're brand new banners. I've just created them the last night. Yesterday, the whole day, after my live, set until this like 1 a.m. in the morning. Created a lot of new banners. Created a complete new profile text. Created a complete new description on the playlists so that people have the idea what am I doing. Have created a complete new appearance on a complete couple of new things also for my profile wall, because it looks like a total mixture of whatever crap that is there in regards of stickers, banners, and stuff like that. So I got this idea because people told me, yo, it is nice what you're doing, but you need to also make sure that you get a bit more structure into it when it comes to announcement, when it comes to this and that. So ChatGPT, guys, use ChatGPT. It is for free. It gives you tons of advices on how to modify things, and then you can do the last slices of your. It's a free tool. It's available worldwide. You don't even have to download it if you don't want it, but use it. It's a free tool. My strong recommendation. The journey is not over yet, obviously, because there's 300 something hours to go, and we are talking about by now 5 days back, because last week Tuesday I had no live appearance, but 300 plus hours to go, yes. And then obviously you have to go through the application process, which takes a couple of time as well. But it feels good, to be honest, being near the finishing line, or the first part, obviously, because most likely for adverts I will never get monetized because I play commercial music. But having reached the 3,000 watch hours to at least receive super chat here and there, a symbolic thing, so to speak. I never see it as a main payment, but receive that as a symbolic appreciation, kind of. That would be a milestone for me, to be honest. Yeah, and having reached that, then obviously it is not that much more until the 4,000 comes, but you just have to be consistent, and that is what I learned in the last 3 months. Even though I have a full-time job, which sometimes take me up to 14 hours a day, then it is how it is. You want to reach something, you have a hobby, you do something, boom. You have to go for it, or you just give it up. And
I like how I think I like the reaction that people got when you say that you've definitely not been lazy, because to move from 700 to like 2,000, let's just say 2,700, that's like in such a short time. It means you've been putting in the work, and that already puts in like to somebody who's on the live stream and they're like looking at it. Yes, it really takes work. You really have to show up, and part of showing up is also like learning, and it is those things that Ragas is telling you about. I'm just looking at his channel, and it is I'm just sharing it on the screen. So you can see I like the layout of the homepage. Like, it just looks so cool. Like when you go to the homepage, you can see his 50-hour playlist there that you can support. A 50-hour playlist takes like 2 to 3 days. It depends. If you're working and sometimes your laptop has to be off internet or things like that, it may take you longer. But yes, in case you want to like help him get to his milestone this week, I really hope he can get that 3,000 this week by Wednesday at the latest. Please let this list run on your laptop or your extra device for the next like 2 or 3 days, so that you can give him that support. It is literally on his homepage. Just go to his homepage and you will see it is very well organized. Or you can just go to the playlist area on his channel, and you will see it here as the second on the 50-hour playlist, which has been updated today. It shows a lot of effort that is going in terms of just helping the channel like also take shape and also look great. Raghuth, another thing that you can talk about here would be in terms of you're a DJ, so you have to interact with music. How do you navigate? One of the questions I know people will be very curious to ask is like, how do you navigate copyright claims? Considering, music is like your biggest constituency when it comes to the DJing content. How do you navigate copyright claims? And, how can people like bypass that in case there's somebody watching and maybe they're DJs, but they're practicing the DJing in their small room, but they're scared of putting their content in a platform like YouTube because for obvious reasons. how to navigate this issue?
Well, obviously, there's two, from my perspective, and that's why I know, being realistic, that for the ads, when the 4,000 hours are reached, I will most likely never get any cash, because I think a talking live stream is not really monetized in regards of ads, as far as I heard. But anyway, the point is that there is three options of copyright topics / issues, if you will. I always get the copyright announcement on every single mix that I upload. That means there's three sections. One is, okay, there's a copyright claim because the owner says this is his song, but it's okay to be played on YouTube. So that is just saying, okay, there's a copyright thing. But as long as it is just white with a copy, sorry, not a black-white thing. Black will not happen, so don't worry. So, there's a very easy thing going. And let me see if I can even share my screen. I can show it in my studio if you want.
Yes.
And I can actually explain that a little bit better, because I think this could help people to understand, to see that from my perspective. Just bear with me 1 second. Let me get the right screen, and then I can actually go right into it. Because there's no money anyway, so I can show my screen, no problem about that. So there is no monetization yet. So let me go to the ingredients. All right. Now let me get my screen big. Am I permitted to share my screen?
Yes. Let me see.
I have to present. Okay. Share screen. Okay, there you got it. Okay, share screen. Inhalte des Kanals. Yeah, there you go. Okay. So I hope you guys can wait a second. You have to share it. Okay, let me make this a little bigger, and let me go a little bit more to the. Can I do this here?
I've expanded it for you, so you're good.
All right. So where you see the mouse walking here. So here's, for instance. So this is all Premiere. Here it says, it's a German. It says copyright. Okay. Here you see it. This is for my very studio. Now, if I go on details, for instance, it says there is actually copyright because of whatever person have that thing. So, but there is no consequences for your channel. So your channel does not get any kind of ban whatsoever, right? So then there's some more stuff here. So the view is not minimized or something. Everything is cool. So here you see that is everything. So everything here is copyrighted, obviously, but there is no problem with your channel at the moment. Maybe that will change if the copyright claims of that particular track is changing. You never know. YouTube is always a little bit like a chocolate box. You never know what you get. There's another one, for instance, this one here. And this is coming up next week, actually. So let's go to one that is here. That has been broadcasted already. So this has been, wait a second, let me go into this. I know you cannot see that now. Okay, no problem. This is actually banned in a couple of countries because of whatever YouTube copyright issue there is. This is, for instance, banned in Belarus and Russia. I mean, you know, who cares? At the end of the day, there are some.
I was going to do that.
Sorry, but I'm just very open-minded, open talking if that comes to that kind of parts of the world. But for instance, those tracks here, if it comes to the Nigerian one, that was the first one. This is a premiere. Most of you guys remember this. Premiere, to upload it, to have it running actually as a premiere, took me 5 tries, because in the 4 tries before, and this is just a 1-hour mix, I originally planned to do it 2+ hours. The original mix on this one took me 5 tries until I have 1 hour and a little bit together to have it uploaded and still remaining there, because some Nigerian artists, obviously, due to copyright reasons, and I do understand that from the artist perspective, so this is not a complaint, is they say, I don't want that someone random plays my music without permission. So I uploaded the thing, and it was red signed. It was like, we cannot publish this because this and this track is actually a copyright violation, so we cannot publish this video. And I was like, okay, which track was it? So I took those two. I did the whole mix again. I saw this mix of 1 hour was for me 15 hours work just to have this 1 hour together. And this was the first time ever. So at the end of the day, it is obviously, and I have contacted YouTube on this. And I stopped. Oh, don't get scared, guys. It's just me coming back. So don't worry, I come in peace. So the point is, I've contacted YouTube, especially to figure out how does it work with the monetization? How does it work with this, with that, and what do I have to be prepared of? And I'm very grateful that someone at YouTube, well, Google, I sent it to Google in the first place. They have forwarded it to the YouTube department, and they actually sent me a very long, very detailed email with all the information that I actually needed, especially when it comes to my DJ channel. To summarize that, in my particular case, most likely, because there are many other DJs playing commercial music as well. Some of them I have named on my board. Master CTRL is one of them, for instance, and he's monetized. And this is not a blame, this is just a matter of fact. They play copyright music as same as I do, and this is not me finger pointing, it is just like, this is what DJs do. However, I will kind of most likely be kind of partially monetized. So if I get a super chat, if I get whatever kind of donation from you guys, then I'll be happy to have it. And most likely, beside the 30% for YouTube plus taxes and all that stuff, that money will be mine. It will be tricky. I will not get monetized if I do a live stream and or a premiere with copyrighted music, period. For the adverts, that money goes to the artists who actually have created this music. And in my opinion, that's absolutely okay. That's absolutely fair. Now, if I don't know how this works with my talk sessions, if I sit there for 2-3 hours having the audience coming up in and out and stuff like that, if I get monetized for that, I might have to try out, and then we will see what's going to happen. Obviously, I'll try to make a penny out of two as well, like everyone else, but there will be not more coming anyway. So again, this will not be my master thing to hunt for the money, but I will try how that works just to figure out, and then be able to also go to Goga's Wednesday service, so to speak, to the university, and maybe give him some advice. Hey, Goga, just for your information, for the Wednesday thing, this is what happened to me. This is what happened when I talk. This is what's happening when I play commercial music and stuff like that. And obviously, YouTube is very fast in telling you when you not get something. So I will be very curious when I apply for the monetization in this maybe next week. Then if I actually get it, yes or no, we will see.
And I think that should be great for everybody just to like learn and also just tap into it. I am very convinced they will still monetize it, because I do have a friend whose channel is literally DJing content, and they have like, I think they got their silver button like last year, and their channel is monetized, and that channel is just DJing content. It invites DJs to do their mixes and everything, and that is what the channel is always about. And they have full monetization. So I'm sure I can always find out from you as well, for you as well, how they navigated that thing, because I do see ads occasionally on their mix.
Well, so to be being perfectly honest, when I started my DJ thing 400 years ago, I was reading, as you said, I do a lot of research myself, and I was reading a lot of what's going on YouTube, what is with this, how can I Instagram, Facebook, whatever, where can I stream, where can I show my stuff? And then it says Instagram, Facebook, what was it, Twitch, Twitch will kill you right away before you, just when you press play. And then, all right, let's try YouTube then. So I did this very dodgy, again, worst mix ever that I ever did on YouTube with my new gear back then and stuff, 45 minutes of absolute chaos, and uploaded it, and then came exactly this copyright thing that I showed you guys, that there is this copyright thing, and I was like, oh shit, they're gonna ban me, they're gonna send the police, they're gonna do this, they're gonna do that. Nothing happened. Then I called this institution in Germany that I talked about a couple of times already, and they told me, no, don't worry about it. You will most likely not get monetized, or you will not get money from the adverts from YouTube. But in Germany, we have a special contract with YouTube, so you're cool. So I said, okay, fair enough. But again, I never thought about getting the monetization in the first place. But in the end of the day, the interesting thing is now, since I'm getting there closely, obviously, I want to at least touch the pot once in my life, and having the sign there and knowing that I've achieved it, that would be the biggest accomplishment for myself. But on the other hand, knowing that it is a cool thing to know that people are supporting me in whatever way, and with the monetization, how it then goes, only experience will tell, and then I can reveal more on that at a later point once everything is settled.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. Don't worry about it. Sine's reality. My moderator is apologizing. I think she was trying to my moderators are, my guards are always trying to manage me. So Sine's reality. Apologies from Rebecca Le Prince over that small infraction. She was trying to I think connect to your channel, and she clicked her own things. But Sine's reality is good people. Rebecca, I don't think she has a problem. She understands. YouTube has shown her a lot of dust in these streets. She's very chill. She's very chill. Nino and Lo, welcome. Kevin, I see Kevin. I see Nino and Lo on the chat. I see Said Jute on the chat all the way from Facebook. Kapas is in the building. Kapas, shalom Kapas, shalom Kapas, shalom Kapas. Your brother is on the hot seat today. And he's done an amazing job for the last nearly 3 hours. Hajo is nice to see you. Ragus, I like just getting into the final bits of questions so that I don't also keep you here necessarily long. You also started a talk series, and one of the best topics I enjoyed was when you interviewed Eunice, Miss Eunice Talata. This was 2 weeks ago, in terms of the challenges that female content creators go through, and to be more specific, female live streamers. You do observe a lot, and I think you also help a lot of people like Bosede in terms of their moderations on chats, and I like that conversation because there are certain things I will never go through when I'm as a live streamer. It will just never happen because I am male, so I tend to have a certain privilege on spaces like YouTube that a female streamer will not have. I like that conversation you are having. The Raga Stocks segment. What is the plan around this? And I know it's something totally different from the DJing and the gospel house on Saturdays. What inspired the Raga Stocks, and what do you aim to achieve with this segment of your channel?
Well, first of all, it was an experiment when I did it the first time, because I never saw myself sitting as the host of the channel, sitting in front of the camera, in front of a microphone, talking to myself or talking to a screen and seeing some reactions, because I've seen that many times, as well as female and male channel hosts, just reading out what is in the chat. And this is no disrespect, just saying as it is. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. I mean, yeah, why not having it? And some certain Kenyan person said to me, you have to, why don't you talk to the people, tell them about yourself? And I was like, yeah, okay, then I can do that one time, and then then they know about myself, and then I can. No. She said you should do that on a regular basis, and then I thought, okay, let's try. And what it gave me was actually that, I'm not a talk show host, obviously, and I'm not a professional on that. But obviously, what you guys might have mentioned in the last almost 3 hours, Goga didn't have to ask most questions because I just did a 3-hour monologue here. Thank you for that, by the first place. But the point is that I like to express myself, and I like to understand people's thoughts as well. And I always encourage people, hey, tell me something about this. Obviously, I greet the people who I know, my friends and all that stuff. But I always try to make it as funny as possible, using some receipts, what I have learned here in this channel, using the gossip from the YouTube streets, using roasting some certain people who I will not mention in this channel because tonight they shall sleep in peace. But having my usual victims for roasting, having my usual victims to pet, so to speak, to be nice to. But what I've really learned and this is really no joke, disturbing for me. When I go to any of my female colleagues' channel, I always go joke around, try, obviously very near to the belt line, but not necessarily over the belt line, but trying to make jokes, trying to spread some fun. And I always hope that when they come to my place, when people come to my channel and I'm now talking, that they feel more comfortable, because I don't ask them, hey, Goga, where are you from? How big are your boobs? Can you show me your feet? Can you do a 360? Can you do this? Can you do that? And I really, as you, Goga, feel very privileged that this doesn't happen to me. And I always hope that when I visit, for instance, Talata's channel, or when I visit Damilola's channel, Nate Chovi's channel, all these wonderful people, Essie, who I just was privileged to spend the birthday with 2 days ago, and all these things. I think the female channel hosts feel relieved when they don't get the standard questions all the time, again and again and again. But I think when they come to my channel, I hope at least not only the female one channel hosts who are coming to my talks now, and those were the ones actually who encouraged me doing that, but I hope that they have a good atmosphere without the usual stuff. Obviously, some of them get roasted if they give me, as we call it, the penalty without a goalkeeper. You just have to shoot it in. It would be a sin not to make it. But obviously, with all given respect, with all given dark sense of humor, yes or no, with all given respect, with not going, doing this, let's call it as it is, bullshit like they get all the time on their channels, and just try to obviously have some serious conversations. Also gave some YouTube advice recently about the threshold thing and all that, but trying to give a good time. Because honestly, if I go online on YouTube, regardless if it is music or microphone, and I'm very egoistically saying, I want to have a good time in the first place, because otherwise I cannot give a good time to the others. But the talk sessions now, especially with Talata 2.5 weeks ago, encouraged me to invite more people. So we are trying to give it a second go on with Cook with Sandy from Nigeria this time. That would be very interesting, and looking forward to it. And I'm trying to do that let's say every 2 weeks, to invite someone to talk about whatever their topic is, and have some thoughts also. Hey, what are my people, means my follower, the people who come to my channel, what are they all about? What can we all take from that? What can I observe in regards of learning from these people, from these wonderful people who I'm able to meet? And I hope this series will establish a little bit. Interestingly, very often I get more views and more watch hours on the talking sessions than on my DJing, even though on the DJing I put a lot more time and effort and stuff. But it is nice to do that. It is very nice for me to meet all these wonderful people, also mostly on their channels. But if they come over and say hello, coming to the panel like you did, and Captain did the other day when Talata was there, that is also nice feedback.
Yeah, and I think it's important, because I do get the same, because I started off as a yoga channel, and when I started now having this collaborative kind of conversations, it totally changed the game completely. And and I think Simon TV, Simon TV is known to us. Simon TV also started this series, and I think I love seeing content creators collaborating. Red Room is doing it with this vertical thing. When you call it, I like what you did not call it his house. You called it his what home?
His mobile.
You call it his mobile. Red Room, I did not say anything. It is Father Ragas who say who called your car a mobile home, not a house. I did not say anything.
No offense, bro.
It's Ragas the one who's coming up with all these smart, ways of, he has this nice humor of how he calls things. More collaborations, and I don't know. Are there any? Do you foresee those collaborations also in terms of your hobby? Master Control is also somebody people love in the community as well, and is a DJ, and I know other DJs probably in your space, because it's something that you do. Do we see more collaborations like this also, just getting to happen on the channel, especially now as we are getting into the graduation of the channel, for lack of a better word.
I think the interesting thing about collaboration is Master Control is a good example. He's a young boy young guy, not young boy anymore. Sorry. He's a young guy.
The ladies were crazy. Don't call him boy.
No. It was a mistake. I take Master. If you watch it, my apologies. I gonna whip myself tonight or gonna get that done. No, he's a young guy from Brazil. He is a very enthusiastic person. He has this energy that only South American or African people can have, obviously. And this is in the best meaning of what I'm saying it. I met him on his channel on coincidence by swiping, and he was there. And he does what I usually hate big time. He's using the microphone while DJing.
Oh yeah, you should ask Kenyans about DJ Afro. Ask Kenyans who DJ Afro is. Yeah, well, I had you venting about it the other day. I was just like, Ragas has no idea.
Yeah, in Kenya, I think they sing along with the tracks and all that stuff, but I hate using the microphone while DJing because DJing for me is a holy thing. However, I stood at his channel because the way that he does it is very charming, is very, he is like a man fisher, if you will. Like he's really fishing people with that. He has wonderful viewing figures. He's getting a lot. He's got wonderful viewing figures. They're raising big time these days. I'm kind of jealous of that, but he's doing a very, very awesome thing. So he found his niche. First thing he did when we started talking, he asked my WhatsApp. I said, here you go. Nothing to fear. He is in Brazil somewhere. So he said, okay, bro, how can I support you with your channel? And I was like, huh? And that was before he was in. I introduced him to the Goga community, and told other people on my profile wall, hey, go to this channel. That's what I do sometimes, as you might have noticed. I mention other people on my channel wall because that's what I've learned from people like Reds, like you, and all that. So he was first thing. He did a TikTok. He did an Instagram video. Hey, go to the world of Ragos. He's an old school DJ. He did vinyls back then, and And I was like, why would he do that? He barely knows me. And then we did this little thing recently, but we have to improve the better thing, like doing it in real time somehow, because we are quite far away by time zone. But this is what encourages me to also try in the opportunities that I have or the things that I have to also support others. And there are some people who I have supported by, hey, try the raid, do this. That person who I'm talking about, not shaming anyone, but that person now finally got there. And other reasons have been probably getting us not to get the raid professionally done, but at the end of the day, at least it is done now. Other people I'm trying to help to, hey, if you do this and this on your channel, if you put more different things and stuff like that, maybe you want to orient yourself on Goga's or on my channel or whatever, to find some more structure in the looks and stuff like that. And that if I learn something, I think it is an obligation for all of us in this community in particular to forward this to others.
I love that, and I think that really helps us grow, and also it helps us expand. And you see, like I met Master, the young man that the young DJ. I almost called him boy like you. I met Master, the young DJ on your morning. I think you're having a morning random conversation, and I was preparing to go to work, and I think it was just beautiful. And when I met him on your live stream, and I was like, oh, who is this person? Let me check him out, because it also helps us expand our communities, and I think that's a great thing. And you've been doing an amazing job at that, because. I always tell people there are certain things, there are certain people that the world of Ragas knows that Goga needs to know. And he becomes the connector, he becomes the link, because there are some places he hangs out that I don't necessarily hang out, yet he may be the introduction and the bridge. I need to know that person, because either there's a collaboration that is very crucial that I need to do with that particular person. And for me, that's why I think I like those kind of engagements, and I see people collaborating, and I see people coming together to just, make content rather than wallowing in drama and things like that. They are very constructive things that you can do on this particular platform. Um, Guys, we can talk here the whole day. It's 3 hours already. I have to kick this guy out of the Sunday service, and I also have to kick myself out of the Sunday service because I need to work on my shots and things like that. I need to edit videos and etc.
Sorry for keeping you so long, guys.
Oh no, it's fine, it's fine. Ragaz. The good thing tomorrow is a holiday, it's a public holiday in Kenya, so I get to sleep in. I don't have to go to work in the morning because
Lucky you, I have to, but maybe allow me one final note from my personal perspective. The last 3 months, you have asked me how the journey was.
Yeah.
The last 3 months would definitely have not happened if it wasn't because of this community, and that's a matter of fact. There's no joking around whatsoever. Here's why. February, I was about to give up. I was not closing everything, but I was like, okay, I'm going to sell my gear, have more space on my desk here, do other things, and keep the mixes for my memories. And whenever I want to hear some music, meeting those people, meeting everyone, not those people sound so third class. Meeting these wonderful people in the community is, in the first place, already a treasure for me. Period. And this is regardless if it is about the channel or not. I have so many wonderful people who I had wonderful conversations with and still having, thank God. But they also, and if the monetization party comes, that is the first thing I'm going to complain about, that my butt still hurts from all the kicks that I get. But if it wasn't about that, my channel would most likely just be like, okay, last video 1.5 years ago by now, and then whatever comes. Now I see why things have to happen, and that would have not been possible without this community, without these new friends that I made, that I have the privilege to have. And I do feel privileged being part of this community, and if I have a chance to here and there put my own little share on forwarding stuff. And that is also the most important thing for me, is that I learned, yes, I have my own channel like we all have. Yes, we are all kind of single business runners, if you will, on YouTube. But without the help of our neighbors in the YouTube streets, nothing of whatever we have in our channels is possible at all. This is my word of the day. And I would like to thank you all for that until here. If the monetization party comes, then obviously I will thank each and everyone personally. I will try to make it possible to get a gig in Nairobi next year, and then we can assemble most of the people there who are in this community, and then see if I can make that possible. But that is quite a while to go. But I would like to say thanks to everyone here, and now as we are all mingled here together, and thank you also, most of all,
wait,
Goga,
I feel like you're fine. Wait, I need to put you on stereo layout for that particular thing. Let me confirm that there is no question that is pending. You have been invited. Ifeanyi Sikul, my able vice president for I think he was there for 30 minutes during my soiree. Yes, he's asking the World of Radiance. I invite you to the Africa Festival. I'm on stage. Okay.
If you're cool, I really have to blame myself because, Pope elections and everything, I really still have to give the phone call. Sorry for that. I'll do that right away tomorrow. And yes, I will come. African Festival, I'm in.
Okay. So Ifeanyi, the message has reached the amazing the amazing host, and it does you're getting your flowers here. Title Pro says, great job. Of course, yeah. I mean, he's become very seasoned on these YouTube streets. I did not expect anything less, from me by the Sunday service. And I think everybody say, official Vani. I don't know the father promised you, official Vani. But anyway, I'm sure the father will deliver. Whatever the father promises, I think the father will deliver. So guys, before we release the World of Ragus, I'm going to at least give him a chance to do the way we normally let the guests go. We have to give them a platform. There are 3 to 5 minutes of fame where they can sign out in case there's anything they forgot to say and they want to just mention it. they can, it gives them also an opportunity to just do that, and then we'll be able to release him in a nice way. And then I also have to make sure that you confirm that you've given him a thumbs up. So I want you to do me a favor before Captain Ruggers speaks, so that he can speak to you guys in the camera, looking at the camera. So if you're on my live stream right now, and you've not yet given Captain, why am I saying Captain Ruggers? Because he's a pilot. You've not given Father Ruggers a thumbs up on his live stream. I want you to get out of my live stream right now. The link is pinned on top of the chat there. The link is pinned on top of the chat. Ragus, look at these are the people I need to send to you for confessions. Look at the things I'm being told on a super chat, Ragus. Look at this. Look at this. This is what I have to deal with this tribe. You see, being a president is not easy. This one, I don't know why she thought that information was important. Like, she could have
Because most likely she wants to be the first female pope. She's now already practicing baptizing. So, husband, the prince, feel blessed in the baptizing.
These are the things I have to deal with. This why ruling in the country it's not easy, because she could have just given the super chat nicely and kept quiet, but she just needed to add these words there, like, Goga, I just like, why?
That is what happens when my nuns come to the confession room, and when they confess their sins, I always ask myself, why?
Oh, that's very telling. That's very telling.
Yes. Sometimes it gives me physical pain, it gives but
oh my goodness. And then World Bank, thank you so much for the membership. Thanks so much, World Bank. We welcome that membership. I will give you your video shortly after we've released Father Ragus. Thank you so much, World Bank, for joining the membership and joining the Green Army. Yes, I see Nino and Lo has landed. Yes, this is what I was saying. Before the World of Ragus, before Father Ragus, I need to correct myself. Ragus, by the way, what inspired the name the World of Ragus? Because I know it's nowhere near your government name. What inspired that? So you can put that on as you're doing your sign off. So guys, I was saying this in case you've not connected to the World of Ragus, aka Father Ragus, aka Father Mess, aka Oibo Pepe, aka I don't know. He has a lot of names. He wears many names. So if you have not connected to Father Ragus, I want you to get out of my live stream right now. He's going to raid you back. He's a seasoned pilot. He's a seasoned captain. He will raid you back to my live stream once we end his. So I want you to get out of my live stream right now. Go and drop those, what do you call those things? Those headphone emojis on his live stream. Go and drop those emojis of our headphones on his live stream, so that you can confirm that you've connected to his channel. And you are, at least you have signed off and you have given him a thumbs up. So do that one as he does this sign off and he bids us bye. And then as soon as that ends, of course, he will come and say bye, and then we'll be able to release him. But at least you'll be part of that community, so that you can meet him when he's doing his sessions tomorrow. Yeah, he always has things going on every day in the week. So he's going to talk to you guys about that as he's doing the sign off. So please get out of my live stream right now. Go and stay on his live stream. It is pinned up there. He's going to raid you back for the receipts. And then you'll be able to set up the raid to everybody. Good Vibes K, thanks so much for coming in, sis. Thanks so much. Nice to see you, Good Vibes K. All right, over to you, Father Ragus. Let me just give you that. There you go.
So I said a lot already as my kind of last words. So let me keep this very brief. Goga, thank you so much for having me. It is a privilege being on the Sunday service, to be honest. I've seen many of them already from other people coming in and watching and talking about so many different parts of life and so many touching topics, way more important than I am. I think they need a way bigger platform, and I'm great that you give these platforms to those people. I would like to thank everyone for being patient with me today. I hope I didn't make anyone snoring. Remember, snoring causes earthquakes, and we don't want earthquakes, right? So I hope that you were not too bored with me here on the board today and being here in the panel. I highly appreciate the energy that I am blessed to receive with all of you, and therefore I hope that we will stay friends, we'll stay connected, and stay seeing each other's YouTube streets. But most of all, thank you very much, Goga, for supporting not only me but so many other people with so many gestures that and so much forwarding your knowledge. I think that is the most important thing that this channel is all about, and that's our community is all about. I'm looking forward to see you all again in some streets and also here on the Sunday services, of course. And thank you very much for your attention. And again, I hope it was not too boring for you guys. Me having me the minority white guy being here on the channel.
You're really going to milk this. Okay, thank you. All right, guys. That is the sign out from the from the father himself. There's some people are still asking for the sacrament, but that is why you have to connect his channel so that you can get to benefit from the sacrament. You can attend his services. You can attend the Ministry of Gospel House. You can pass in your confessions. I know some people wanted to give some confessions there, so you need to go and give your confessions in that particular channel as well. Now that you're connected to Father Ragus, you'll be able to give those confessions. But I just want to say thank you so much, Father Ragus, for the for literally just taking also the taking the call, and also just like agreeing to grace us with your presence. Just your ministry of presence in this Sunday service has been an amazing experience for the last 3 hours, and we don't take it for granted, because I always say sometimes you can invite somebody for the Sunday service and like, Goga, I'm not coming. Why should I come to the Sunday service? What am I coming to do there? And I really like your input. I really like the conversations you are having, especially around creativity, gear. You said, don't break the bank when it comes to making content. Start small. I like the inputs you gave in terms of learning, the few lessons, that you've picked along the way. You gave some very great insights around community and some of the experiences that you're having in terms of community, creativity, and always spicing things up, from things like the gown, the father's gown that you wear. The story, I loved the pictures from Nigeria. I think for me that is like the biggest takeaway, just seen because it now made a lot of things add up. Now I was like, so Oyibo Pepe does not just crack jokes about Nigeria. The man lived there for years. He's speaking as an authority in this particular, subject. So thank you so much. It was such an honor having you at the Sunday service. Unless there's anything else, I don't see any burning question on the live stream. People just connecting to you. I will officially now release you. To the people are on the Father Ragus side, I'm going to end his live stream right now, so that Ragus, you have something to say? Sorry.
No, I just wanted to say the raid is ready to go.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So for the people on Father Ragu's side, I am going to end this live stream right now so that he can raid you back here, so that we can finish with the affirmation, and then we are going to raid somebody. I will ask my mod to create for me the raid command, Ragus and Goga raid with the DJ thing and my purple hat. All right. Thank you so much, Father Bruce. You've been released officially from the Sunday service. Okay. All right.